a fully immersive show. The giveaways and the performances, we'll say, are obviously the key parts of it. $20 tickets will be available. I don't know how long those will be available. $95 will be the most expensive ticket that will be out there. I think it's going to be a fucking amazing show. Normally, I think everything's going to not be great. Sorry, our show stinks. It's literally my thought. This one, it feels good. I think it's because the amount of talent that are going to be on this show. I think it's going to be a big night. And obviously, giving over $1 million in the arena will be a lot of fun. Changing some lives will be a lot of fun. The people that are going to show up, the guests, I think people are going to be like, how the fuck did this guy put this thing together?
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you ping! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this glorious big night out, tickets are on sale now. Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Show starts now.
Big night out!
I'll tell you what, it is a big day for our particular program's history, our company's history. We don't sell a lot of stuff. Not really a big, hey, you need to buy a ticket to see what we do type of program. But for the first time, long time, tickets are currently on sale for a show that we are piecing together. Big night out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Wednesday, April 9th. Will be a night that I think a lot of people will talk about for a long time, and the tickets are currently available on Ticketmaster. You can scan that particular QR code or go to any of our social media platforms where we have basically all posted the link to get in there. Obviously, there's $20 tickets all the way up to $95 tickets. That's before fees. I think the Ticketmaster fees are real, I think, from what we have been learning. So the $95 ticket will obviously cost more due to the fees, and the $20 ticket will cost more due to the fees. But I would like to say that we wanted this to be a very affordable evening for people to come have a great time, to come see things that maybe they never thought in their life that they'd ever be able to see. Maybe win big, as over $1 million in giveaways in the arena will be had that particular evening. And basically, we just wanted people who don't normally get an opportunity to have a big night. Tickets on sale now. We can't thank you all enough for allowing us to do this for a living. And the fact that this is even coming together is all because you people allow us into your lives. And I will forever be indebted to that, which is why I try my best to give away as much as possible, and that'll be no different on April 9th at PPG Paints Arena in lovely Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Got a lot of people reaching out about tickets from, growing up in Pittsburgh, being around Pittsburgh, also some West Virginia people, Ohio people, even some people from here in Indiana are like, hey, can I get some tickets? How do I go about getting tickets? They're available right now. And you can get them at Ticketmaster, and we can't thank you enough for coming and hanging with us. It's going to be stupendous, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be stupendous. Allegedly, Ticketmaster has been, so we crashed the site. Thank you all so much for doing that. I don't love that is the case, obviously, because I know there's certain sections that some people are going to be trying to get to and everything like that. But allegedly, the Ticketmaster site is currently not working. Okay, we're 2.5 minutes in, 3 minutes into this entire thing. I think there's going to be a chance that this thing sells some tickets, which was a worry this morning because we don't sell a lot of stuff. I prefer to give free shows to people because I don't think people should be paying for what we're doing. But with the amount of investment and the amount of people that are going to be at Big Night Out, I think it was, let's at least see who is going to be in there. $20 feels good. I just spent $20 on a coffee this morning with DoorDash. That's crazy, that express fee.
Yeah, but it was good coffee.
It was delightful. It really was. And I'll tell you, a couple during the break, maybe it was last weekend, I went and got a Starbucks. Yeah, we talked about this with the furniture this weekend. One got a Starbucks, and got an Americano for the first time from the Starbucks in, I don't know, years maybe. Piping hot.
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't had coffee hot in a long time because I DoorDash it every single day, and it's like lukewarm. That hot coffee, first of all, still has its fastball, but also vastly different, better taste than the lukewarm coffee I've been drinking every day that I've been paying about $20 for every single morning. Wanted it to be affordable for people. Hopefully they're able to get the tickets. Anyways, let's move along. A lot happening in sports. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. You boys are going to be a part of the show. the big night out. I know you were pumped about it, Con Man. I also know you're pumped about where free agency has gone for your particular program.
Yeah, very pumped about big night out. Me and Ty have, already discussed outfits and things of that nature. Already kind of getting those wheels turning now. But no, free agency, absolutely. A big name yesterday, Cooper Kupp. And we heard from Shefty on one of the sports centers, I believe, 12 teams involved. The 3 teams he listed in that segment were actually the Patriots, the Seahawks, and the Green Bay Packers.
Nice.
So we'll see if it's a bidding war. We'll see if he wants to go win somewhere. You hope it's a bidding war as a Patriots fan because of opportunity and compensation. But then when you look at some of those other teams involved, if there are legitimately 12 of them, which is what the report was, and
at what price? Everybody, this is kind of, we'll be talking to Michael Lombardi in the second hour, the current general manager of the North Carolina Tar Heel football team. He's been around the NFL 100 years, we'll say. Started with the Raiders with actually Al Davis and has worked through every single building. He's multiple time Super Bowl champion. His life is committed to football. Mm-hmm. I mean, that has been his entire thing. And he said every time they say the amount of teams that are interested, like everybody's going to call to see what the price is. A lot of people are going to be like, okay, so what's Cooper expecting? What is the thing? Are they interested, or are they just kind of trying to find out what the actual thing is? Now, I believe Cooper Kupp is going to have a lot of suitors. Okay, Cooper Kupp is a dog. He's a former Triple Crown winner. And if you even count the yards after catch, I think he won all top 4 stats that you could have as a wide receiver just a few years back. Everybody loves him, but at what price? I think at this stage of free agency where people's salary caps are, if Cooper Kupp is taking $10 million a year, or if he's taking $5 million a year, like D-Hop just signed for, up to $6 million with the Ravens, or is he looking for like $15 million a year because he still thinks he can be a massive contributor, or even a 20? Like that is probably what like 12 teams are like. What is the asking price? 12 is a lot of people that would be snooping around. That's a good spot for Cooper Kupp to be if what Schefter's saying is true.
Yeah, fantastic spot. And you would think that because of the D-Hop deal, that might be something that teams are looking at. If he wants to sign a 1-year deal, I would, think he signs more so like a 3-year, 50 or 40 million, looking at what Godwin got. Godwin is coming off a really bad injury, and he got 3 for 60 something, I believe. So it feels like he could be in that range. But again, yeah, if he just wants to win games, why wouldn't you go to a Green Bay or a Detroit or
on the D-Hop deal?
Yeah, or a KC. Yeah, on a 1-year, $5 million deal. And then, hey, you're 33 next year, 34 next year. You could probably still get a nice little deal too then if you wanted to go then try and cash in again.
But if somebody's going to offer him $15 million or $12 million.
New England.
Yeah, why? That's the interesting game at this stage, especially with somebody who has a chance to be great. Joey Bosa signs $12 million deal with the Buffalo Bills. Now, obviously, can he remain on the field is the big question mark. But if he is able to, what a hit for the Buffalo Bills at $12 million to get a pass rusher. If you get Cooper Kupp and everything's like, can he stay healthy? Can he stay healthy? If he does, and you pay him 7 to 10, that is a great price for a wide receiver that can dominate. $15 million even if he has a massive year and is able to stay healthy. Those are all the decisions that kind of have to happen with these GMs, And I'm happy that I'm not in one of those seats because I'd be doing the Haslam trick. You get 40 mil.
Yep.
You get 230 million guaranteed. You do this entire thing. It's not easy to kind of balance all of that shit, Ty Schmidt.
Yeah, no, I mean, and especially for a guy like that, if like I'm just speaking from the lens of like the Packers as a Packers fan, They didn't give out a whole bunch of money in the first 2 days. Like we saw the contracts that came out, but the guaranteed money that they allotted wasn't crazy. So like those guys can go earn a bunch of money from the contracts they signed. But also you look at what Cooper Kupp did for Puka Nakua's development, and obviously Puka's a dog, but he's told us time and time again, like, hey, he showed me, like how to be successful in this league, how you got to go about, becoming a pro. And for a team like the Packers, they have the lowest amount of salary, committed to their receiver room, and they have a bunch of young dudes. So they didn't necessarily want to go out and get a guy like DK Metcalf and pay $30 million a year for him. But if you can get Cooper Kupp on a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal, and he's making, $10 to $15 million a year, and he can be that vet who can, bring these young guys along. Like, I think that's maybe a reason why they didn't go crazy on the first couple days of free agency.
Let's go to one half of the Hammer Dahn Cowboys. AP Tone with the cowboy hat back on. Congratulations to you. Feels like you did that strictly so Shaquille O'Neal would not call you out individually during the
That is true.
Okay, love that. Just like AJ went and got a haircut because Shaq was coming on. You know, he knew he was going to compliment him. You put the cowboy hat because you knew Shaq was coming on. You know, there's some people that just have that type of effect on humans. Shaquille O'Neal is certainly one of them. We talk about Cooper Kupp being available. How about Russell Wilson now? Yesterday, after the show goes off air, it is reported that Russell Wilson traveled to meet with the Cleveland Browns. I believe he's also talking to the New York Giants. There's a lot of stories. And then if you go with the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback situation, which Russell Wilson was potentially a part of, not as loud anymore, especially after he visits Cleveland, and Giants are still in on the convo. Mason Rudolph signed back with the Pittsburgh Steelers, $4.5 million or whatever the case is. So quarterback shuffle still happening, but everybody's waiting on a man who was on, I think, his own beach on Tuesday night, captured by paparazzi with a long lens. You could tell it was a long lens from the quality of the photo. And seems like he was contemplating a lot of things. I think that is currently what he is in the middle of. I think, you know, do I want to play still? Is this something, like, did the last 2 years at the New York Jets, and it's not coming from messages to me, because once again, I've been trying to get answers and have not been getting answers. I don't think a lot of people have been, because I think Aaron's trying to find answers right now on what does he want to do? Does he want to commit to another year? Did the Jets situation make him want to play football and prove himself? Or did the Jets situation make him say, I don't know if I want to go through all of that again? We don't know still at this case, or at this point, if Aaron wants to play. Now, you got a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers people saying, he needs to give us an answer, because the way it's being reported by Schefter, Schrags, local media, basically everybody is like, Aaron Rodgers is just basically holding the Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers is making a massive decision with what he's going to do at this stage of his career, whether it's walk away or go play in Pittsburgh for a legendary team, Pittsburgh Steelers, or play any of the other places that are potentially interested, whether reported or not. I feel like he, after seeing this photo, and once again, we have not really chatted with him much, tried to, this has been a one-way, but have not really chatted with him much. It's like, I think he's deeply contemplating a lot of shit. I mean, you're not going down to the beach, okay, and looking out into the great unknown and going plugged into who knows, could be anything.
Yeah,
right?
I have a couple theories.
Yeah, we have a couple theories, but it could be the complete opposite too. I mean, it could be like instrumental music playing.
It could be the sounds of the ocean.
It could be the sounds while he's next to the ocean, because the ocean's not giving him enough. Maybe, I don't know.
Down.
Could be podcasts, you know, could be, I mean, there's a lot of things he could be. But when I saw these photos, I'm like, oh, Aaron's like going, it feels like this kind of reinforces this is a massive decision for him. And I know Pittsburgh Steelers fans are at the point where they're like, he needs to tell us today or not. But there is a chance that he is actually trying to figure out what his life is going to look like in the football world, whether it stops or where it's going to continue.
Yeah, correct. It's a massive decision. It's the first time he's a free agent in his entire career, and he's making a decision whether he wants to continue his long, illustrious career or not. So it is a huge, massive decision. And I got news for you, anti Steelers fans. You're on Aaron's time now, and so you better buckle up.
Okay, see, this is you perpetuating exactly what I was just saying.
I'm just saying, like this. I mean, his time is a flat circle, so we have no idea how long this is going to take or whatever. But as you said, Steelers did bring back Mason Rudolph today, so at least you do kind of have a fallback there. He started a little bit last year. He had some good times. He had some bad times with the Steelers.
We want Rudolph. Yeah. That was chanted in Acrisure. Is that the name?
Maybe Hines.
It is currently the name. I can't remember. Yeah, it was definitely the Sure at that time.
Okay, good. Down the shore is Acrisure.
Yeah, he had a roller coaster career, and he went to Tennessee for a year and absolutely balled out. I mean, look at that throw.
On fire.
You kidding me? There's a handful of quarterbacks in the NFL that can make that
3-12 here.
But you also talked about Russ going to visit the Giants and the Browns. It felt like the Giants kind of felt like they realized that, hey, we're probably not getting there, and this is probably down to the Steelers or potentially retirement, so we're going to have to bring in Russ. I feel bad for Kenny because they brought in Kenny, and Russ was kind of the guy that kicked Kenny out of Pittsburgh last year, and now he's trying to do the same to the Browns up there. But no, there's still a carousel going on. There's some answers coming, but still the big chess piece is Aaron Rodgers, and I brought it up yesterday. There's a full blood moon tonight going into tomorrow morning, so if he's looking for answers at the ocean, which the moon does control, feels like my theory is not so crazy, is it, guys?
Okay. Well,
it's true.
When the moon hits his eyes like a big pizza pie. Is he still playing ball or not?
I mean, I believe, there's a chance Mother Ayahuasca told him when the moon turns red, Aaron. it's time to call your career. So red.
No, there's been a lot of these over the last year. Hasn't it been much more prevalent of these moons that we're not supposed to see? What was the blood orange? There was an orange one.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the blue moon is something that's supposed to be once at a blue moon, but
happens all the time.
Feels like we've been seeing it a lot. Yeah. The blood moon, okay, this was last year. I think I remember it reflecting off the lake, and it's awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, all these things are awesome, but it feels like the moons have been a little bit more active.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just we're paying attention more.
Or maybe something's inside of it. Light it up.
You think there's somebody with
I don't know.
Something with a...
I don't know what's going on in
Supreme
there,
Commander in there. Light it up!
I mean, allegedly they landed a drone on it last week. Then why don't we have a live feed? You know? We got live feeds on Mars.
Didn't we? Yeah, the Mars thing's interesting.
Yeah.
Because we're just calling them up?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I think they have a landline.
Are we just calling it? How's that get? I don't know how any of it works. I don't know how I FaceTime with my wife and I'm just 2 blocks away.
Sure.
I don't know how I call somebody in California and FaceTime and they just answer and there's no delay. How about people in fucking Hawaii? You FaceTime with them. There's I don't know how any of that works, but I think it involves satellites and then coming back to us. So do they just open up that bitch and they just shoot it to Mars?
They must.
It comes.
But then there would still have to be some sort of telephone pole or signal on Mars that we installed at some point. Or maybe a rover set down at some point. It makes no sense.
Yeah, through the space station, perhaps. I mean, technology's crazy. You can watch entire wars online if you want to. How does that even work?
Well, I heard not anymore.
I don't know if that's the.
I
don't know if that's the craziest technology of all time.
I think it's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly crazy. Yeah, certainly. There's a lot of crazy technology. It's just fascinating that that's the one that you went with. Nonetheless, the war right now that's happening in Pittsburgh is we want a quarterback now. Aaron, do you want to be a Steeler or not? Is how they feel, and rightfully so. But also on the flip side of that, understand that there's probably a chance that Aaron is contemplating a lot right now in his life. Already Hall of Fame. Already wealthy, already has a lot of other shit that he can go do. I mean, there is a lot of those things that happen, but that's when you don't have a quarterback on your roster, that is one of the things you kind of have to deal with, especially if you're going to get a GOAT, one of the GOATs.
Did you see a lot of the reports coming out now that, hey, it's not about money? Wonder what show said that earlier in the week. The show gets no goddamn respect when we report stuff.
Yeah, well, I think the issue is the way we deliver it, people don't know if we're being serious or not.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then whenever we're making jokes about something, they take it as if we're serious. So it's almost like it's on purpose. Doesn't it? It feels like it is.
Could argue that.
Feels like it's targeted. Feels like they're trying to maybe paint thing. Like Michael Lombardi, who'll be joining us next hour. In the morning, it was reported that UNC, the football team, will be doing Hard Knocks offseason this year. Everybody on the internet heard this. Boom. UNC people heard everybody. Okay, Bill Belichick, we're getting a look inside of that. We have Michael Lombardi, the general manager of the team, on literally 2 hours later. And he sits down next to us. He goes, I wouldn't say that is necessarily done. A lot of people reaching out to us to kind of do this entire thing. So we'll figure that out. Nobody even listened. Nobody even cared. Continue to run what they're doing to Hard Knocks. They're doing a Hard Knocks. Everybody gets excited about it. Then next week, somebody has to come out and say, so in a turn of events, they're not doing Hard Knocks. It's never were.
Yeah.
But I thought we got it. I thought we journalized that. I thought we did some journalism.
Pretty well.
They always circle back, though.
What do you mean?
When they're wrong and we were right, they always circle back and let people know.
Yeah, people remember that.
Good.
Yeah. What do we know, though? Nothing. We're just a bunch of doofuses in Indiana.
True.
Lucky to do what we do. We'll be talking to Seth Greenberg here in a few moments because March Madness has begun. All the conference tournaments are beginning. I believe Gumpy was at one of the Big Ten games last night that went into double overtime, ended at about 11:30. Who was playing? Rutgers and USC.
Yeah, it was an absolute banger. Unbelievable. Iowa, Ohio State, very good game before it as well. Big Ten tournament heating up again today.
Let's go.
What is this TIAA?
It's from their website. I don't know what that stands for.
Oh, it's TIAA Craft?
TIAA Craft.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so they sold the naming rights to the tournament?
They must have.
I don't love everybody doing that. Can we not hold at least the title in a pretty high regard? So it's the TIAA Big Ten Men's Basketball Tournament. Cool with that. If they start calling and then the tournament bracket is by IF, okay.
Hey, I thought the Big Ten was in a good spot. I thought they didn't have to do this kind of shit. We were talking
Remember
about this
Big
with
12?
the Big 12, having to sell every
For football,
little...
but basketball, you still got to pay the bills.
Hasn't got the juice.
No, I understand. Okay, so it's the TIAA, which we did not know was a company. It is a company. And boy, what TIAA does,
Is it Tia? You talking about Tia?
Insurance is what Brucey's saying.
Oh, Tia. Okay. Yeah, we're pronouncing it wrong. It's Tia. Tia. Men's tournament is obviously happening here in Indianapolis. Very thankful that Indianapolis is the host for that. You get some magical games. Now, we're going to have Greenberg on, obviously, because he used to coach and he covers it every single week on that College Game Day show with Reese Davis and Jay and Cheney.
Yeah, Cheney, I believe, as well.
Cheney is no, it's
Andrea.
Yeah, Andrea is out there. Good show. I watch it on Saturdays. I see College Game Day, and I thought the first week it was on. I didn't know. I should know more. I don't pay attention enough. I apologize. I thought it was like a recap of like football coaching. So I'm like, College Game Day, what is this? I wonder what they're doing. And it was the basketball one. I'm like, oh yeah, Reese hosts the basketball one as well. This past weekend they were at Duke UNC. So obviously it was a great environment. Bill Belichick stopped by. It was a good show. Seth is great on there though. And he is the person that will obviously help us understand who should be playing well, who should we be looking out for, and also who can we make money off of.
Ooh.
In the tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, college basketball analyst on ESPN. He coached from 1978 to 2012. Holy shit.
Long time.
D1 head coach for 22 years, two-time ACC Coach of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Seth Greenberg. How you doing, Coach?
Honored to be on with you guys. How's life?
Fantastic now that you're joining us. And we heard that whenever you were asked if you wanted to come on our show, you were like enthusiastically yes. We would like to let you know, as an ESPN analyst, with that type of response, we appreciate the hell out of you.
Hell yeah, Seth.
That's very kind of you.
Let's go. Let's go talk some ball. And it's a great time of the year. I mean, like, we can educate the folks and give a kind of little insight. We're here in Nashville right now. I'm sitting on the balcony, got a good look right there. I got hurt a little bit the other day, hurt my hand, but I played hurt. I mean, it's what it's all about.
Yeah, what happened to the hand?
You play hurt.
Did you punch somebody?
I want to give you a good story, Pat. I really do, but I can't. I tripped coming back from the bathroom, landed on the side of the bed. 6 stitches. Actually, did 7 o'clock Sports Center hit first, then went to the hospital and got the stitches.
Yeah, played through injury. I mean, that's the type of ball we're looking for. That's the type of basketball mindset that we love and enjoy. This was in the middle of the night, or this was in the morning when you didn't see the bed?
It's the middle of the night, so I just kind of put some rubbing alcohol on it, wrapped it up, went and did my hit in the morning, then drove to the emergency room, got it stitched up, 6 stitches.
Stubbed the toe, too, off the bed, or just... Or...
No, the toe was fine. It was a bad landing. Pat, it was a bad landing. I mean, I have pretty good agility for an old fart, but I'm a little disappointed in myself. I mean, I'm going to make the excuse. My wife, I always have my workout gear right next to the bed so I get in the morning workout.
Of course.
So I want to say she moved it, but she didn't.
Okay, yeah, blame the wife. I mean, that's a good move. I don't know how long you guys have been together. I'm sure that'll go over well. Well, thank you for joining us.
38 years.
Congratulations. Hey, that's awesome. That is awesome. As a bunch of married men here, with one, looking for love, currently maybe possibly finding it at the moment, we have mad respect for that. Now, let's talk a little bit about basketball here. I looked at some of the numbers, and I think Duke is like minus 160 or something to make the semifinals. I think they are like the odds-on favorite this year. Is that accurate? And what tournaments should we be looking at to be the most electrifying? Is it an SEC year? Is it ACC? Is it Big Ten? Which conference is really the one that's going to be most electrifying through these conference tourneys? And who are the big dogs that we need to pay attention to, Coach?
SEC is ridiculous. Every single game is not a game, it's an event. I mean, the level of play in the SEC is second to none right now. Look, here's the deal. How did the SEC get so good? Because they invested. Your investment equals your expectation. The SEC, like they do in every other sport, they invested. They invested in coaches, infrastructure, NIL, facilities, and they're just ahead of the curve right now. But this tournament is absolutely ridiculous. Every single game is potentially a top 25 matchup. And some of these teams are trying to play their way in still. Like Texas had a big win last night. They got a shot at Texas A&M tonight. Texas A&M turns you over and rebounds. Like their best offense is a missed shot, Texas A&M. And Texas has got a dude that's a lottery pick. Reminds me of Ray Allen and Trey Johnson. So that game is going to be a great game. John Calipari, anytime he plays, it's an event. Probably did a better job with this team than any job he's done with his Kentucky teams the last few years. Amazing, they're winning games. Missouri, Dennis Gates has done a great job. And Oklahoma, Jeremiah Fears. If you want to watch a game, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Jeremiah Fears, whose brother, Jeremy Fears, plays for Michigan State. Jeremiah Fears is a freak, an absolute freak. He's got a little bit of Kyrie Irving in his game. So, the games are just great. Florida, to me, is the best team in the country. Auburn's right there. Obviously, Duke stands by themselves. But the SEC could get 3 teams in the Final Four.
Okay, so that is abnormal. Normally it's the ACC world. Duke obviously representing the ACC. UNC had a bad year. I only know that because I saw the Duke UNC stuff. I watched your guys' college game day from down there, got a lot of info and intel, and then I checked in on the game later. Duke was doing their thing. I think they were up like 13-14 in the second half, and there was like somebody dunked in the middle of the UNC people, and I was like, yeah, this feels like a one-sided rivalry at the moment. Who else out of the ACC? It's a Duke game. They're representing the Atlantic Coast.
Like, it's Duke and Louisville. The job Pat Kelsey's done this year at Louisville's unbelievable. Took a team that was in disarray and has absolutely done a mind-boggling job. Went to the portal, and he got all guys from winning programs. So he got Chucky Hepburn from Wisconsin. He got Terrence Edwards from JMU, where he won. He got this guy, Rain Smith, a left-hander, who's a big-time shooter. He fit the pieces together. So they are legit. Clemson's legit. Clemson could be an Elite 18. Clemson, Brad Brownell, he's picked the right guys. Got an experienced backcourt, a kid named Chase Hunter. Matched him up with a guy named Jaden Zachary, who transferred from BC. Got a Victor Locken kid who transferred from Cincinnati. They're legit. Those 3 teams are really good. Carolina's got to play their way in. They're on the outside looking in right now of the tournament. They've got a game tonight against Wake Forest. If they win that game, that's a quad 2 win, which helps them a little bit. They're 1-11 in quad 1 games. I don't know how that would equate to the college football playoffs, but 1-11, even though they played a tough schedule, that's not good. If they win today, they get Duke. That'll be an opportunity to get obviously a quality win.
Quad 1, good teams. Quad 2, okay teams. Quad 3, crop teams. How do you do against good teams? UNC 1-11 against good. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but they played really good teams. Like, they've lost to Auburn, they've lost to Florida, they've lost to Alabama. They've lost to really good teams, but eventually you got to beat the good teams to get in, and they got an opportunity against Wake Forest. Wake Forest beat them early in the season. Carolina's playing a lot better. They're getting some play from their front court. That'll be an interesting game to watch. Duke, by far, has separated themselves. What John Shire's done at Duke is pretty amazing. I don't know how you would equate it to football. He signed the best recruiting class in the country with Cooper Flagg, who's just an absolute monster. He's a freak.
Yes.
I mean, he impacts the game every single time. And then he retained 2 guards, one Tyrese Proctor, which is really important. But the rest of that freshman class is good. This kid, Con Knippel's a big-time shooter. They got a shot blocker, Malawatch. And then he went to the portal and got, winning dudes. Like legitimate, tough-ass winning dudes that all they want to do is have a chance to play in the Final Four and win a national championship. So he put that all together, and he's not Coach K. He's John Shire, and he's doing it his own way. It's kind of cool to watch a guy that stood by the man, and said, you know what, I understand how he did it. I can't do it that way. I'm going to do it and be comfortable in my own skin. And that's exactly what he's done. They are really fun to watch.
Every once in a while, you can't get out of that shadow, And then all of a sudden, you start doing stuff your way and winning. Boom. All of a sudden, you're an equal. And hopefully, you'll be able to do it for 30 years down there at Duke. Obviously, that's what they're hoping for. Had a chance to go down there for the rivalry against UNC for football for College Game Day. What a campus. What a campus. Oh, it is beautiful. Same with UNC from what we've been told from Lombardi and them. Okay, so Big 10, Big 12. Anybody dancing from those 2 conferences in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Big 12 is an interesting one. I got a couple of sleepers in the Big 12. I think BYU is a sleeper in terms of the NCAA tournament. What they do is they play it wide open in a style play where they're going to shoot over 50% of the shots from the 3. They can really shoot it. They got an international kid, Yago Demin, who's a Croatian kid, if I'm not mistaken, or a Russian kid who can really pass it. This kid, Richie Sanders, can really shoot the 3. They're like my sleeper to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. Because style of play, in the NCAA tournament, it's all about matchups. It's 100% about matchups. So style of play is the most important thing. Can you impose your style of play on your opponent? So if you can do that, a school like BYU, they can do it. Iowa State's a dangerous team because they're so physical. They defend. They've got a toughness about it. Kansas, a little bit down right now. The depth of the Big 12 is good. Arizona's good. BYU's good. The depth of the conference is good. I'm not sure they have a national championship except maybe Houston, who just plays they basically put shoulder pads on and just beat the crap out of you.
Love that.
For 40 minutes.
That's
and
Big
just
12.
wear your ass down. I mean, they just wear your ass down.
Yeah,
they rebound, they turn you over, and eventually they make a 3.
In the Big 10, you think Michigan State has a chance because Izzo's in there?
I love Izzo. It's like one of my dearest friends. I absolutely love the guy. This is his best team since his last Final Four team. And Jason Richardson obviously played for way back. Kind of a cool thing for Tom to coach his son, Jace Richardson. And he's the most, Tom said to me the other day, he's their most efficient and player that freshman he's ever coached. Now, the dude has coached some good freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's coached some, like, really good freshmen. Jerry Jackson, he's coached him. He's coached, like, big-time freshmen. Michigan State's built for the tournament because they rebound the hell out of it. They're relentless defensively. They beat in transition. The one thing they don't do, they don't shoot it very straight at times. But they get extra possessions by offensive rebounding
they don't shoot
and
well.
their defense. At the three's a little suspect, but they wear you down. They've had 9 different guys lead them in scoring.
Okay,
9 different guys.
That's good news, and potentially bad news.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if people start,
Chase Richardson's their guy, though.
He's a dog.
Okay, all right.
Chase Richardson is a bad dude.
Worst three-point shooting team in the Big Ten, and they still won the Big Ten. That makes no sense at all in this day and age.
That's Michigan State fan
Exactly.
Evan Foxy right there, Coach. Okay, last question for me before the boys have some. What's the no-name team? What's the mid-major team that we're going to see go on a run? Who has the makings, or what couple teams have the makings to potentially be the Cinderella storyline through March Madness?
I think Drake does. I mean, Drake has Bennett starts his kid. They start 3 D2 guys. Now think about that. They start 3 D2 guys, and those 3 dudes are just balling. They're just balling. And Ben McCollum, their coach, longtime D2 coach, like 4 national championships, like 8 Final Fours. He'll be one of the hottest coaches in the country this year in terms of movement. Might end up at Indiana, for all I know. And he's got 3 D2 guys. They run a really, really sophisticated offense. They share the basketball. They turn it over a little bit, about 18% of possessions, a little bit of a concern. Defensively, though, they take it away. More like Virginia-esque offensively and defensively, except they create more turnovers. They're one, and if BYU makes it, and they should even as an at-large, watch out for Ryan Odom, another hot coaching candidate throughout the country. They start basically 5 seniors, 6 fifth or sixth year guys. Terrific backcourt, a guy named Matt Shuga, who's an international kid who can really play. Jack Parker played in the Final Four last year. I mean, they're really good. So I would say VCU and Drake are 2 that, depending on matchups, they can make a little bit of a run in the tournament.
Drake, you said 3 D2 guys. That's like Indiana Hoosiers.
Love that.
That's what Kurt Signetti led Indiana Hoosiers. They basically take a bunch of FCS.
They are. That's a good one.
Yeah, they went on a run too. You know, does their coach talk shit?
I'll give you Kurt Signetti story. He rented my apartment for me when I was at Pitt. I left Pitt. I got fired at Pitt. I had to leave. I had an apartment. Kurt Signetti rented my apartment from me. I think he still owes me money, and I think he can afford it.
Yeah, and you're certainly not getting it either. You need to know that. You're certainly not getting. You can put a little tax on that. But yeah, he brought in a lot of guys that had chips on their shoulders, maybe overlooked, but played a lot of ball, and they were able to rally that. Maybe that's a recipe for the tournament. Now, there's another team you haven't brought up with a legend. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Seth, tell me about Rick Pitino's Red Storm. I, for one, am not really a fan of any specific team in this tournament, but it feels like I'm riding with the Johnnies. I already placed a couple bets on them. That's the team I want to see go, especially with the Rick Pitino story. But do you think they also are one of those teams that could go on a massive run and possibly win the whole thing?
The Godfather, you mean? I know Rick Pitino since I'm 13 years old. He played the same parks that we played in New York. And he's a savant. He takes his team and beats you. He takes your team and beats you. I mean, the guy is that good. He's a bitch. Like he's relentless. I mean, that's just the way it is. The guy's a bitch. I mean, his teams wear your ass down. Elite defensive team, they turn you over, they press, they foul every play, but they redefine a foul. So, you can't call all fouls. So, eventually, they just beat the crap out of you and wear you down. They're really good offensive rebounding team. I really like them. I think they're an Elite Eight potential Final Four. Another team that doesn't shoot the 3 that great, but at the end of games, remember these 2 names. Kadari Richmond. Guys, it's his 3rd school. He's been all over New York. He started at Syracuse. He went to Seton Hall. Now he's in the New York playing the Madison Square Garden. He's a 6'6" point guard. And he just gets downhill, sees over the defense, make plays. And R.J. Lewis is a great closer. They've got 2 really good closers, and they got a savant coaching them. And if they let them play, this team has a little of that Louisville Rick Pitino in them. Not the Providence, not the Kentucky, but the Louisville Rick Pitino. That just physically wear you down. So they can make a deep run because it goes back to style of play. Can they impose that style of play on you? Yes, they can. And when they do that, they get extra possessions on their glass. They get extra possessions on their defense. They get to the free throw line. They just got a toughness. And, think about this. Here's Rick Pitino. He started at Boston University. He went work for UB Brown, ended up coaching the Knicks. Went to Shangri-La into Kentucky. All right. Left to go to Boston Celtics. That was a disaster. Didn't get Tim Duncan. If he was guaranteed Tim Duncan, it would have been different. Goes to Louisville, goes through all that stuff, goes overseas, and then comes back from Iona, and now he's literally the godfather of New York. There's not, if you like the New York Post, I'm a New York guy, I grew up with the New York Post, he lives on the back page. He's taken over New York basketball in a year where the freaking Knicks. I grew up. I was there when Willis came out of the tunnel, man. I grew up with the Knicks. Rick is hey, Fitz, you guys wait. All right, Jalen Brunson, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Right now, we're taking over New York.
I love to hear that. New York Post hasn't always been great to us, but I respect everything that they are for the people of New York. And Pitino, I think, has a documentary going on right now, too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Behind the scenes.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah, every quote he has. He said, I love them because how hard they play. His most recent quote is I love them because how hard these guys. Here it is, right here. Here's his most recent quote that we saw on the internet. Love everything about it, just being this wide open.
How much enjoyment are you taking coaching this group?
Well, it's twofold answer. I'm having a great time because they give me everything they have. When they shoot the free throws and when they shoot from the field, I want to kill myself.
And he means it. It sounds like he means it. Yeah. These guys can't shoot threes, but we're definitely tough. I can't wait to watch it. Maybe Red Storm Rising is the name of the documentary.
Yes.
With Pitino.
Yes.
I will certainly check that out to learn more. One of the legends. Love that he's back in New York doing his thing. Ty has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, everyone knows about Cooper Flagg, and then you got Broom from Auburn. Outside of those two guys, though, who do you think is the best player in the tournament? And then who do you think is someone who might have a Steph Curry, Jimmer Fredette type run and really make a name for themselves?
Oh, those are good. Those are really good. That's a really good question. Jeremiah Fears could turn into one of those dudes that you just want to turn on and watch at Oklahoma. I watched him last night. All I do is watch ball. I'm a really simple guy. I coached for 33 years. I'm doing this thing, pump faking my way through life. I just watch. I'm watching Jeremiah Fears yesterday, and I'm oh, whoa. This dude's got all kinds of crap in his game. I can't say that other word. You guys can get away with it. Saban can get away with it. I'll use crap.
Saban.
But
no, allegedly Saban can. Allegedly there was complaints. I just read online that people were complaining about Saban. It's hey, why don't you shut your shithole up? Okay, why don't you do that? Use crap. Got it.
Yeah. But anyway, he's different. There's a guy named Yakachonis at Illinois. You want to watch a dude that owns the tempo of the game? You put the ball in his hands, he just controls everything in the game. I'm going to give you a little bit of a sleeper. Illinois started the season really good. Then they had all kinds of injuries. And then they got sick. They had a bunch of guys with the flu and a period of time where they weren't playing without their dudes. They got their dudes back, and they got dudes. They got dudes. And this dude
Illinois.
is
They're going to get 40 minutes of hell tonight. I know that.
Iowa, Illinois.
He's like the maestro. Illinois is a team. Yakachonis is a guy you want to watch. He's just fun to watch. Just how he plays, just his game in general. But any of these games in the SEC today, you go up and down. You have a Kentucky team. Kentucky is good. Walter Clayton and Florida is a freak. Florida team, I don't know how much you guys have watched Florida. Florida is as good as any. Florida could win a national championship. I would not be shocked Florida wins a national championship. Just to give you a little background on Florida. They got a bunch of dudes that were the mid-major transfers. That's how they built it. Walter Clayton started at Iona, playing for Rick Pitino, which is amazing. Will Richards started at Belmont. This guy Chinyelu comes off the bench. He started at Washington State. But they've got terrific guard play. Dogs at the guard position, flat dogs. All right. Then up front, they got these really skilled international dudes And Chinyalu just like beats the crap out of people all game long. They go 9 deep. Florida's really good. I mean, like Florida's really, really good. National championship good. Kentucky style of play, dangerous in the tournament. Like the SEC is no joke. It's no joke. Like I said to somebody the other day, I grew up, I coached in the ACC for a long time. The SEC is what the ACC used to be.
Okay. And that's because you work for ESPN? No, that's SEC ESPN.
Yeah. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, watch your mouth.
You said
watch your mouth. Whoa.
Jeez. That's bull because here's what happened. You know what happened to the ACC? They were high on their horse, and they just figured that this is the way it's always going to be. And it was the ACC. And what happened is the presidents and the athletic directors and the infrastructure that you need today, they didn't have in place. They didn't have a place. So in other words, I'm saying, like today, you got to hire the right coaches. You got to give them the resources. Like there's a bunch of turnover in the ACC. Obviously, Coach K went, and Tony Bennett went, and Boeheim went, and that's great. But you can hire coaches, but if you don't give them the resources, they got no shot. So they don't have the resources to do what you need to do. NIL, infrastructure, GMs, all the things that the really good programs in college basketball have. Most of the schools in the ACC do not have that. Now, Duke has it. North Carolina's hiring it. But if you look at the drop-off, that's been the drop-off in the ACC.
Same story in college football. Everything you just said, same exact situation in college football. I think we're all kind of excited for what the future looks like. So there's like a set of rules for everybody. I assume the basketball world's trying to get the same exact thing, or no?
Yeah, they are. But, Pat, let me tell you something. Like, do you really think, all right, obviously the revenue sharing, like, do you really think in your heart of hearts, I mean, in all the wisdom that you have, all right, and all the experience you've had, do you really think when they say, all right, we're going to start 21 million and you're going to distribute it throughout any way, which way you want to distribute it? Oh, and by the way, we're going to look under a microscope and really make sure those NIL deals are legit. Do you really think, number one, that's going to hold up in a court of law?
No.
Number two, do you really think that's going to really fly? Come on, your story's a great story. Your story's a great story. I mean, you went from kicking it. I was a Pitt guy now for 3 years. You went from kicking at West Virginia to this is a Cinderella story. This is
mid-major on a run. Yeah, we're in the middle of March right now.
I mean, you really think that's going to stop the people that want to get stuff done from getting stuff done?
Well, and I think basketball, too, you guys have been known to, recruit 12-year-olds, right? Isn't that kind of like a thing with, let alone the shoe deals and everything that's kind of gone alongside of it?
Exactly. Partnerships. I mean, and Pat, there are partnerships. So if a shoe company wants X school to continue to be good, why wouldn't they stop? What would stop them from signing that guy to an early shoe deal? NIL, that's what real NIL is.
Yeah. What's the comp for a shoe deal? Well, it could be anything. Guys are getting paid $100 million.
There'll be ways to get around that. I mean, that's just the way it is. So, I mean, that's the way it starts. Now, like some schools, like UConn doesn't have a ton of money, but what they're doing with their revenue share, they're giving basketball a large number.
Yeah.
A large number.
Yeah, football.
And my man's going to get it done because he's the best.
So are they good this year? We'll be able to talk shit about UConn?
They are good, not great. They have no true point guard. So short clock, they don't have a guy to go make a play. They don't really defend the ball. They're tough in the tournament because of their style of play and what they do. But he's a savant, man. I mean, I go over there and watch them all the time, and I've gotten really close with their staff. And what he does and how he coaches them, he's not afraid to coach.
Yeah.
I mean, dude coaches them hard.
Yeah, he'll coach the refs, too. Yeah, he'll coach those refs up, too.
Yeah. He'll fall down. I mean, he'll do all that stuff. I know some people, you either like him or you look. He's one of those guys you either like or you don't like.
We love him. Know that you're in the company of people that love Dan Hurley. Yeah. We love Dan Hurley.
He's authentically himself. I've known him since he's a kid. His dad, I've heard players from his dad's team. It's model behavior. That's the way the Hurley family does things. You don't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You have both feet in. There's no, walking the line. You just let's go, let's get after it. Now the thing he's done with this team, and I've been on him a little bit, just maximize this team's potential. That's all it is. You're not going to win a national championship every year. He set the bar all the way up here. That's the goal. That's obviously what you want to accomplish. But yeah, you know what? Go back to your, Wagner days. Go back to your St. Benedict's days. Go back to your, Rhode Island days. What was your goal? To get everything you can out of your team. Isn't that the goal of every coach? You played for great coaches. What makes Belichick Belichick? Because, do your job, do it to the best of your ability, maximize your potential. That's who Dan Hurley is. That's how he coaches, and that's what he expects. It's not just the standard's a standard. Yeah, you want to win national championships, but just be the best you. And that's what he's really focused on with this team. And they are hard to prepare for because all that stuff you're showing on there, how do you scout that? If they win the first game in the NCAA tournament, you got 36 hours to prepare for the next game. How do you prepare for UConn? How do you prepare for the physicality of St. John's? How do you prepare for the three-point shooting at BYU? When you look for upsets in the tournament, that's kind of how you got to think. Can a team impose their identity on the game? Are they a tough prep in the second day of the tournament?
And that's why Patino and that Ray Storm are going to be a problem.
Look out.
Yeah, can't wait to watch it all. Coach, thank you so much for making us smarter here today.
Honored to be on with you guys.
You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, let me get this stat right. 22 years as a head coach in basketball. Now, crushing it on ESPN. Sorry, SEC ESPN. Coach Seth Greenberg. Thank you, Coach. Yeah. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach. Okay, we got a couple hundred tickets left.
I'm sorry, what?
In total?
There's a couple hundred tickets left, yeah, right now currently. Tough, because I'm getting text messages from the people that are kind of monitoring the Ticketmaster on the backside of it all. A man named Justin and his team from the WWE are sending me text updates. I guess there's a few hundred left, okay? So they were doing a rollout of these tickets, right? Didn't really know. So then the first batch goes. That's when it was there's nothing. Then there's a new batch that comes in. Then there's a new batch that comes in. So, we currently have a few hundred being, kind of let in there right now. So, been a pretty good day, I think, whenever it comes to the sales of the big night. But I think if you're going to go, which we would like you to, and we think you're going to have a blast, and if you're in the area, I think you should try to get these tickets. I think they're going to be gone soon. And if they're gone, they're either going to end up on a secondary ticketing app or you're not going to be able to get in. So only a few hundred left. What a moment. What a time.
Oh, yeah.
What a day. What a show it's going to be.
Oh, so you're saying it's doing well?
It's doing well right now, yeah. It's doing well. We still got some left, though. We still got 750. Let me get the exact number. I don't know, because there's a couple loners, too.
Yeah, exactly. Solo tickets.
Those will be gone in about 15 minutes, though. So if you do want to go, you're probably going to want to go get them right now.
They've been rolling pretty good, yeah. I get a text at 12:34, and it says we had 8,200 sold. And then at 12:37, 8,750. So it's they are, and that was after the first wave of crashing going down and going to start. So feels like these tickets are moving. If you need them, you should go get them. And if you want them, you should go get them. And if you do, we'll be incredibly grateful. And I'll tell you what, we'll put on shows, say, you know what, I'm happy I went and did that whole thing. I don't know what the secondary ticket prices are going to be. Obviously, our friends at SeatGeek, the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. We assume that those are always going to do what they're going to do. And hopefully, if there's ever any other one of these, we'll figure out a way to, maybe lock it in a little bit more. But with that being said, it feels like they're moving pretty good. And we can't thank everybody enough.
Well done.
We're not there yet, brother. We still got to move them. I was very worried this morning about how many we're going to sell because there's a lot of hype, coming out of the people of Pittsburgh that I know. A lot of text messages coming. A lot of people asking for free tickets. Shout out to all those people.
Naturally.
But them also talking about who they're hearing from. And they're like, we think it's going to do good. And I'm like, thank you. But what does that mean? Because this is an arena. This isn't like a theater. Not that it's a stadium. People have obviously done stadiums before and shows have done stadiums, but an arena's big. And I get to go to Monday Night Raw every time and look around. It's like, holy shit, there's so many people in here. This past Monday, I was at Madison Square Garden, and obviously that was 20,000, which is much more than what we're going to have for Big Night Out, especially because of the staging that they're using at Madison Square Garden versus staging we're going to use. But I looked around, I'm like, there's no way. That's a lot of people. Then a week before, I'm looking around, I'm like there's 12,000 people in here. I'm like, that's about what we're going to be at. So I'm looking around. I'm like, there's no way, But it turns out, especially for a show concept, that nobody even knows what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty wild. So I was very nervous this morning. A lot of good messages being sent from a lot of people, including the boys here. So thank you so much for going to get those. There's still some available, but I believe you're going to want to get those pretty quickly. Over $1 million in arena giveaways will be done that night. Over $1 million. Don't know what the exact number is going to be, and you'll find out why that'll be the case whenever the show starts. But it'll be over $1 million. And the acts that are coming through, big names. Friends of the program, big names, good
Huge.
people, great people. And I think people are going to do a lot of what? Speaking of, Duke's down to Georgia Tech. Is that what I'm hearing in this ACC tournament game?
Yeah, I saw it on the ticker over here that we have in the office. It was a 14-point lead for Georgia Tech, but here it comes again. Duke is now only down 6, 41 seconds left in the first half. So if you are a fan of Duke, I'm sure there was a little worry in the beginning, but I did see on the TV when we turned around, that was the largest deficit of Duke's entire season. So maybe they just a little slow start, and now they're rolling again.
Okay, so Patrick Everson at @PatrickE_Vegas says, this is not good. Flag limping off court for Duke. This was in the first half. This is when the score was 29-17. So obviously Duke has made a little bit more of a comeback. You said made a little bit of a tighter game. But Cooper Flag, I guess, seen limping off court. Cooper Flag and Malik Brown both went to locker room with injuries for Duke.
Shit.
That's not good.
That stinks.
Especially with everything we just heard from Coach. That's not good at all.
I just watched it.
Was it bad?
Was it bad?
Didn't look great.
Was somebody that tall? The basketball guys, with how big they are.
That athletic.
Yeah, like any little thing could be a much bigger deal, especially with how not saying their limbs are different than ours, but they are, especially with the leverage and everything that's kind of set up with how tall they are. Hope they will be A-okay. We can, this is the Cooper Flag injury in the group text.
Probably put it on the back wall.
Okay, is that bad?
No, it's just, I don't.
I mean, if you're a Duke fan.
Cooper Flag's up top there.
Yeah, playing defense.
Comes on the rebound.
Ooh, that's an ankle. Okay, so he got a little whenever he went down to land. That's going to be some sort of sprain. I'm not a doctor. Some sort of sprain. That's not fun. And, these guys, the low-top shoes everybody wears.
Yeah.
I never understood it. Everybody does it. I'm not just saying just Cooper Flag. Everybody does it. Was there some study that came out and said, like, you're not doing anything with the high tops, that's not helping at all or something like that? Because once I started seeing NBA guys start wearing a low, like I think KD maybe.
He's lowest.
Had the first one with like super low. It helped out for me because when I put the shoes on, my ankles don't like rub into it.
Kobe's were low too.
Yeah.
Kobe was one of the first ones, and I think his thought was always that soccer players do it. Why can't NBA players do it?
But I assume they taped ankles or something like that.
So they have like inside the, like before putting on their socks, there's like these kind of like rubber type latex that they put around their foot, like a sock inside the sock. And then obviously the socks they wear too are almost like padded, a little thicker. But yeah, even Tyrese's DX shoes yesterday that we showed, those are low tops too. It doesn't make any sense.
Feels like everybody's gotten into it. They almost like a generation was just like, we're not wearing the big blocks that you guys wore. As somebody in a pickup basketball game at Boys Park who's gone up and come down on somebody's ankle,
That's the worst.
That is terrible. You think it's all over at the moment.
I wore low tops one practice, rolled my ankle, never wore them ever again in my life.
So I broke my ankle.
And you notice that LeBron always wears high tops, and he's pretty sustainable.
Wow.
He's got low top shoes too, though. Let's not just go there, Foxy. Okay.
Man. I don't know. I'm waiting on updates right now for the person behind it. It's tough to dive into. Yeah, that sucks right there.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag.
Yeah, it's
that
tough.
doesn't feel like that is a.
Hopefully.
That doesn't feel like that is a.
That's just a throwaway. Hey, get back in the game.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be playing.
Yeah, it does not look like.
But I'm saying for March Madness.
Oh, yeah.
As a whole.
Lucky for them, he doesn't really need to.
That didn't feel like that was a. Because these conference championships, you listen to some of these coaches talk, and I'm just picking up headlines and quotes from some of the coaches. It's like if you go all the way to the championship and then you play and then you have a game, like some of these teams are okay not winning the conference title because then they get like a week almost, a break going into the March Madness tournament. And if you win the regular season conference title versus the conference championship tournament, it's like, where do you kind of balance those entire things? So I don't know if people are as... Like the high-end teams, obviously every team wants to win that because it's an automatic bid into March Madness. But it feels like the way I've heard coaches talk over the year, it's like winning that tournament at the end, certainly a good thing, but also if you lose, not that terrible if you're already in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, if your seeding is kind of up on the line, I guess, like, because it could push a team that, like, maybe was going to be like a 3 seed, and then if they win a major conference tournament, they might get a 1 seed. But a team like Duke, who is, like, kind of firmly already on that 1 line, like, if they win today and then get beat next round, like, they're probably still going to be a 1 overall seed. So it really doesn't do much for them having to play all their guys, you know, an extra 100 minutes over the next 3 days and then turn around a week after that and play again.
All right, let's get back to the NFL. Mac Jones has signed a deal with the 49ers.
Wow.
If you do recall, on a draft night, we were right in the middle of all of it because allegedly Mac Jones was beloved by Shanahan and the 49ers, which is why they made the massive trade to get up in the draft to become the 2nd overall pick, 4th overall pick. Third overall, yeah.
Trevor, Zach Wilson, Trey.
Okay, so the 3rd overall pick. The Niners made this massive move to get up to 3rd overall. And the narrative was that Shanahan loved Mac Jones. So Mac Jones going at number 3 overall was just kind of set in stone. The sports books, the conversation, the narrative was this guy from Alabama is going out to the Niners, is going to be part of Shanahan's offense. How are they going to cook? That was literally the convo for like a month leading up to draft. Then day of the draft, we get a call from a source or sources and say, it ain't Mac Jones at number 3. And I go, no, everybody says it's Mac Jones at number 3. I know what everybody's saying. It's not Mac Jones. So we literally lead our show. Now, we weren't on ESPN, so obviously I don't think the networks took us serious, but the sports books did, yes, and everybody else around the internet did, and it shifted that line and the odds crazy. Like in a matter of 10 minutes after we said it on our show, it's not going to be Mac Jones. It was a surprise to all parties. And now, inevitably, Kyle Shanahan gets his guy. Mac, I thought you'd be a guy from the jump. I didn't get a chance to work with you. And what happened in New England? That wasn't you. What you did down in Jacksonville, obviously good, but that wasn't your best ball yet either. What I had visions for you, we still have visions for you. Mac Jones signs with the San Francisco 49ers, obviously to back up Brock Purdy, but there's been a few games in each season that Brock Purdy has played where the backup has had to come in and play. Will Mac Jones do that? We shall see. Will he do it well? We think so. Former Pro Bowler, obviously, of the New England Patriots. Now he's back with Shanahan where we thought he was going to be all along.
Yeah, super accurate, too. You know, I feel like that's a very important thing when it comes to both Shanahan's offense and just being good at quarterback in general. But, I mean, look what happened with Sam Darnold. He did 1 year in San Fran, and then the tide kind of turned on him, even though he didn't play much. And it was like, hey, maybe this guy deserves a shot, and maybe Mac Jones is kind of on that trajectory now because of the quarterback needs for so many teams.
DeMarcus Lawrence has signed a 3-year, $42 million deal with Seattle, including $18 million guaranteed. Seattle Seahawks in the game. Now they're in a whole new era.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence obviously going to be a big piece of that from the Dallas Cowboys. We watched CeeDee Lamb's reaction to that whenever he was with Neon, streaming with Neon. He was in the back of a car.
That's who that was.
That was good. I think that is Neon.
You didn't recognize Neon?
I mean,
he's seemingly always on the wrong end of stuff, Neon.
Yeah.
Seemingly that's like kind of his game. Anytime it gets into my algorithm, something not great. So, Neon, we hope you just keep going, man.
Yep.
I don't know what you did or if you deserve it all. I don't pay attention enough, but seems like you've been through it a little bit. Keep rolling. DeMarcus Lawrence to Seattle. We'll be back on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice.
What to expect, I will say, since Kirk Herbstreit is rolling around in a Bentley right now to a plane. Nick Saban will be the holder today for the field goal kicking contest. $80,000. Rob McElwain, he's here, obviously, absolute dog, owner of Wrexham, obviously his soccer team, and also It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think you have 10 other investments. This guy might be a billionaire. I have no idea, but he is awesome and entertaining. Kyle, you're a junior here, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Pat.
Have you ever talked any trash about kickers before?
Of course I have, Pat. Come on now.
This was his sign that he brought today. This guy. Is there anything you'd like to say to him before your first hold on TV?
Good luck, man. That's all I can tell you. I'm rooting for you.
Did you ever hold before?
Yeah, when I was in high school. That was a long time ago.
Okay, you're going to do great. Rob, former soccer player, maybe sign him to Wrexham after he makes this kick or no?
And look how confident he looks. I mean, I would be shaking. He seems very, very confident. I think he's going to make it.
Go! Go! 80,000, Kyle! All you got to do is put it through the uprights. Nick Saban, the greatest of all time, on the call. Oh, no. Oh, no. Spiral. Throw a completion down the left side.
Wow. I said give him another kick.
Rob, he immediately blamed the holder. Okay.
I don't know, but it looked like it was coming back. It wanted to come back. If it had a little bit more distance, it might have gone in.
Coach Saban, does he deserve another kick, you think, or what? Oh, no, Steve, that's
another kick.
I want to make Coach dive.
That's smart. Yeah, make him play. Coach, you think he deserves another shot?
Let's give him another shot.
Okay.
Make it.
This one for $100,000, Kyle. Nick's looking out for me here a little bit of coaching.
Rob,
what was your did you graduate?
I did not go to college, so I've adopted Oregon as my home.
If you were to go, would general social sciences be your thing? Hey, hold on, Kyle. Good luck.
Come on, Kyle.
$100,000 in Oregon. Oh, what about hey, all right, Kyle, I feel like you hustled me a little bit.
Yeah.
Your second kick was so much better than your first. Shout out to Nick for the hold.
How important is the holder?
Hold is the most important thing.
Great, man. Congratulations. That's great.
This thing is getting expensive, Reese.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this big night out, tickets available now Thursday, March 13, 2025. Hour 2 starts now. Big night out! Hey, that was much better than the first one. Obviously, practice makes perfect for the boys. Big night out tickets. From what I just heard, I don't know if there's any available. I'm not 100% sure. There's some in shopping carts I've heard that have been maybe kind of about to go away. There's a chance that you can snag a couple of tickets here, like literally in the next minute or two. Then I think it's going to be officially sold out or whatever. So shout out to everybody that's going to be coming on Wednesday, April 9th. I think you can steal a ticket or two right now before it gets shut down. But yeah, this has been overwhelming, all of it. And I promise the show will live up to the hype. I promise that what we're bringing to Pittsburgh will be something that whenever they leave or the people that go will leave, will say, you know, yeah, that was worth it, all of it. You know, that was worth going through the tunnels, getting all the way downtown.
Sure.
That was worth finding parking. That was worth walking into the arena, finding our seat, grabbing some drinks, sitting down. And for 2 to 2.5 hours, we just thought to ourselves, holy shit, what the hell is happening in front of us? This is awesome. Had no idea that person would ever come to Pittsburgh. Why is that? Oh my God, I can't believe that. Holy hell. Oh, this person just won a massive amount of money. Okay, so that is, the night is supposed to be a bunch of whoa, holy hell. This is awesome and an escape from the world. And it's coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Wednesday, April 9th. Tickets currently available. $20 tickets all the way up to $95 tickets. That's before the fees. And we've been seeing some of the fee costs. Mm-hmm. Holy shit.
That's not.
I didn't know that was happening. I guess this is why all these lawsuits probably
Bingo.
take place. And once again, we are SeatGeek people. Always have been, literally since day one. Shout out to SeatGeek, the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. But Ticketmaster is the contracted vendor of the PPG Paints Arena, which is kind of a part of a Live Nation Ticketmaster thing that happens with a lot lot of venues. SeatGeek, obviously, a secondary ticket buying platform app, and I assume there'll be a few on there. Not that I love that, but I assume that there will be some on there. But if you don't get the tickets now, I think they're going to be at a much higher price here, literally in probably 20 minutes or so. So, Talks the Tables here at Boss Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, AP Tone from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Literally grew up on the same street as I. Pretty cool that we're going back to Pittsburgh doing something awesome.
It is. Shout out Hialeah Drive. And I think obviously Pittsburgh was the perfect choice to do this for the first big night out. It's going to be awesome. Like, and just, you talked about the amount of people that reached out to you. Like, as soon as it was announced, 1 billion people reached out to me. As everyone, the city is a buzz. I think more than just the city is a buzz. I think there's going to be people from everywhere. But just like
West Virginia, obviously people are going to travel up. Ohio, people are going to travel over. I read a guy from Seattle,
Bingo.
Big Shane, I think is his name, is flying over there. I think there's going to be some people from Indiana that are going to be traveling over there. You know, Pittsburgh, obviously not in the middle of the country, but it is certainly a place that a lot of people northeast
gettable
can kind of get to. And I'll tell you, the city of Pittsburgh would be a good time. It's a Wednesday night, you know, and a lot of people said, you know, I'm a worker. I'm not going to be able to go on Wednesday. It's like, well, take Thursday off. Okay, it's first day of the Masters anyways.
True.
So think about that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't work. I'm saying you should always work. But if you want to come, not saying you should, but if you want to come, take off Thursday, enjoy a Pittsburgh Wednesday. You know, go down to a casino afterwards if you have to. And I think you're going to say it was a blast. I'm pumped for it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now from Manatee, Ohio is a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, and a man that is a part of Big Night AJ Hawk. AJ, how you doing? The new yarmulke you is the best you. How are you doing on this glorious Big Night Out? Tickets are available Thursday.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Obviously pumped to see the tickets flying. Like I think I told you, I know you like to always worry about whether the tickets will move or not. You know they absolutely were going to, and they have so far. I know people from Ohio that are already planning on going. I don't know if they were able to get tickets in time, but I know people have already told me they're going to come over for that.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. We've been trying to get on the website to buy the tickets. We haven't been able to get them.
No.
But then I'm getting updates from behind like, there's like 300 tickets left. It's like, well, how come my shit ain't leading? And I got my mom. You know, my mom wants to buy some tickets for her friends back in Pittsburgh. I'm like, Mom, you should just ask, you know, for these tickets where everybody else is asking for tickets. I'd be like, no, I wanted to. She hasn't been able to get the fucking, you know.
Yeah.
So Sally's battling right now. I think Tone's been battling
during
right
the
now.
break, it wouldn't work.
I don't know if I've been able to get on, but nonetheless, it has been cool. This has been a very cool experience to see these go. Because, yes, I was very worried that there's a chance. You know, I read a lot of terrible things about me on a regular basis. There is a lot of horrendous things said about me for good reason. Hey, I've certainly earned a lot of it from a lot of people. So, you know, every once in a while, whenever you get outside of your bubble, you start to wonder what it's going to be like. And I can't wait to get back to Pittsburgh. And I'm excited for what we're doing and giving back to the city that obviously created me and many others in this particular program. Now, let's chit-chat about the stories happening around sports. AJ Hawk, what is Aaron Rodgers doing, bro? I saw him on the beach on Tuesday night. Was he talking to you? What was that? Was that a recording of your voice that he was doing there? And let me tell you how I took this. I took this as him legitimately contemplating a lot, you know, and I don't know how everybody else viewed it. Obviously, with the big towel or the blanket around him, taking a stroll on a beach is a beautiful upside of having a house on a beach. But whenever I see these photos, I don't know how often he does this. I assume on a regular basis, but it made me realize, like, there's a lot of contemplation happening right now with Aaron about the future of his career. Does he want to play? Where does he want to go? First time he's ever been a free agent. I mean, there's like, I assume a lot going on in this hippie's brain right now. AJ, how much have you chatted with him? And when you saw these photos, what was your first thought?
Yeah, so when I saw these photos, I mean, I'm sure this could be any day that he is in town at his house. I bet he cruises around and you see the corded earbuds. You know, he's not wearing anything Bluetooth. He's got to keep all that harmful radiation coming towards his brain. So it's very on par with what he's doing. Maybe he took a little dip. That's why he's got the big old towel. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, it is kind of some weird shots. I wonder how far away this person was. Probably had one of those super long lenses, huh?
Yeah, for sure. We're creeping with one of these bad boys. You know, I obviously grew up in Pittsburgh, one school, West Virginia, live here in Indiana now. The paparazzi thing, very confusing to me. So I would obviously travel out to LA every once in a while if a friend of mine had an event, or, you know, just go see some people, go to events and, you know, handshake and see what the world is about out there. And I run into a couple people that like deal with paparazzi, and I'm like, is that not the creepiest thing of all time? Like, you just have these people stalking you pretty much and taking these photos. And then I learned, you know, not Aaron, obviously, A lot of these celebrities are telling these fuckers where they're headed, so that it's like a part of their business plan. Like, would like to get tracked and stalked. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You know, like that is a very weird part of your life. But I guess that's a part of being the public persona that some people think is right. I don't think Aaron wanted anybody taking photos of him on his beach behind his house. So I assume this guy, and they're creepy, these paparazzi. They will pay thousands and thousands of dollars so that they can creep the shit out of you from long range. This might have been a 50 cal. This might have been a 50 cal type photo here for Aaron. You can tell because it is a little blurry for today's standards, so it might have been far away, but who knows if the upload was right. But yeah, man, he's got a lot going on. Have you talked to him? Have you chatted with him at all? Because city of Pittsburgh, okay, he's never played there. He has never come out and said, yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the teams I'm contemplating playing for. Everybody else has kind of said this. I don't think he has said anything about it. City of Pittsburgh saying, hey, listen, we're buying big night out tickets, and Aaron Rodgers is telling us whether or not he wants to be a Steeler because we're tired of waiting. That is literally what the city of Pittsburgh is kind of feeling at this exact moment.
Yeah,
right?
the majority's already sick of it. I mean, it's been 2 days, 3 days since free agency has started. And, well, actually, it's been less than 24 hours since Aaron has officially been a free agent from the Jet. But we're not on his time. We're on our time, okay? We don't have we didn't have a quarterback, okay? We do now, so we've eased off a little bit.
But it is bananas to think that listen, I love Yinzers, okay? Lucky, obviously,
They're
doing
not
this show
patient.
in Pittsburgh. Yeah, Yinzers are like, this guy don't want to play for the Steelers? Okay.
The hell?
Okay.
That's exactly.
What is taking so long here? Okay, you're welcome. We even gave you an invite. You know, that is kind of how Steelers fans are feeling at this moment. They have no idea if Aaron still wants to play. They have no idea, what all Aaron could be potentially contemplating. They just know that they've heard from multiple national sources that the Pittsburgh Steelers are waiting on Aaron Rodgers. Is that real? We don't know. Does Aaron know that is kind of the narrative? Literally don't know. But Pittsburgh Steelers fans heard from Schrags. They heard from Shefty. They've heard, obviously, from Florio a bunch. They've heard from local Jerry Dulac, who covers the Steelers. All the local media being like, now we just wait for Aaron Rodgers to decide whether or not he wants to bless Pittsburgh with his presence. That is how it is being presented. And Aaron's just looking at the ocean trying to figure out, what the fuck am I supposed to do with my life? What an interesting dynamic to happen. And once again, this is Aaron Rodgers football. This is kind of how it goes. Everything about him, this is kind of how it goes.
Yeah, and I feel like we've talked about, the Vikings and Aaron and how perfect of a matching that would be and how great he would be in Minnesota. But I think Pittsburgh fans also are pissed off. And Tony, you could definitely correct me because you're an actual Steelers fan. I'm just speculating here. Like every year, the entire thing is, hey, they have a winning record. They have a winning record. Like we're talking about Pittsburgh kind of lesser than we are with the Vikings because, the Vikings have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, all those things. Like the
Coach of the year, Kevin
Coach
O'Connell.
of the year, everything like that. But Pittsburgh wins. Like it feels as though if Aaron were to go there, like to act as if they're not winning, 12, 13 games like we're acting with the Vikings, even though everyone in the Vikings division is getting exponentially better and the Steelers have multiple teams in their division. Like if he goes and plays the Bengals twice a year, like guess what? I'm playing safety for the Bengals this year. So it feels as though, Aaron Rodgers will have a very good day against a team like that. Obviously the Browns are the Browns. The Ravens are good, sure, but every team has, at least one dominant team, and it feels like Steelers fans know, like, hey, we're going to win 12, 13 games if Rodgers comes in.
The New York Times, The Athletic reported yesterday, via Diana Rossini and Mike Silver of NFL Network, I think, is where Mike Silver works. If I got that wrong, sorry, I don't pay attention to you. The Vikings are weighing the possibility of signing Aaron Rodgers as they ponder potential veteran options at quarterback to pair with J.J. McCarthy. Rodgers is intrigued by the possibility of playing for Minnesota. Okay, interesting. Because Mike Silver, once again, been in the NFL, around the NFL for a very long time. He reported a few days ago, like, J.J. McCarthy is not necessarily the starter here. Kevin O'Connell has a lot of weight in the decision-making over there, and they are, still thinking about bringing in a veteran quarterback. It was like, oh, that veteran quarterback would be Aaron Rodgers. Now, nothing has been said from the Minnesota Vikings definitively that they are interested in Aaron Rodgers. Giants, yes. Steelers, yes. Minnesota has just kind of been something that's just like, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Now, with the New York Times' Athletic reporting that, like, hey, they are certainly weighing the option of bringing Aaron in, you have to bring that into the contemplation for Aaron. Aaron loves the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
And if you listen to him speak, he loves, I'm not saying Brett Favre didn't, but with everything and with how that went. Aaron, when he was on the Jets, Aaron, whenever he got done with his darkness retreat, everything that Aaron has talked about since leaving the Packers about the Packers is that he loves that place. Loves the organization, loves the people, loves the city, even the people that wanted his ass out of town. I think Aaron even doesn't even think about that because of everything that happened in Green Bay. So going to the Vikings, I don't know how much he's contemplating or wondering about or what they're offering, but if that is a real thing taking place, I think Aaron has some little drawbacks too, just strictly because what that would mean for his relationship with Green Bay, Ty Shabbat.
Yeah, and I almost think too, with no malice, for him, it'd probably be pretty cool. If these are the last 2 years he's going to play, he'll be able to play at Lambeau 2 more times, which obviously that place is super special to him and he loves going back and playing there. But I think maybe this has to do something with the hang up, because if that is a possibility, we saw how good the Vikings were last year, almost were the number 1 seed in the NFC. If that at all was a possibility, then it'd almost be irresponsible for him not to wait, just a little bit and see if that could happen. Because when you look at the Vikings, we talk about all these other veteran quarterbacks. Aaron is kind of the only one who's left right now where if he goes into Minnesota, he's probably going to be a starter. I guess you could argue that with Russell Wilson, but chances are a lot of these guys who are kind of left and haven't signed places, if they're going to go to Minnesota, there's a good chance that they're going to be that veteran behind J.J. McCarthy, whereas Rodgers knows, hey, if I go in there, I'm probably going to start and I'm going to have the best core of receivers I've had since Devontae and Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, and, Kevin O'Connell drawing up plays is obviously a beautiful thing. The hang-up could be, though, maybe his love of Tomlin is potentially drawing him away from the Vikings. There is so many things that could be in it. AJ, you've said for multiple days that you would selfishly like to see him with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You said you would like to see him with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is that because you're the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, or why is that particularly the case? And what are your thoughts on him with the Vikings?
No, I think thinking of Aaron on the Vikings is crazy to think if you plugged him in there with the team, with the talent that they have around him. But the Vikings are the only team that's left, I feel in this whole sweepstakes to try to sign him. That, like Ty said, they have to actively think about, hey, what does the future look like for J.J. McCarthy? What will this do to him if we bring Aaron in? Aaron's not coming in to be the vet backup that J.J. McCarthy can lean on. That's not the case. So what does it do for his progression, for what he's going to do? How does he handle it if you bring Aaron in? Is he on board? I don't know. All that stuff I would imagine is going on behind the scenes. But the Vikings kind of have to be – they probably got to be careful publicly what they say, just because they do have a guy they drafted in the first round last year that played well until he was hurt. We haven't seen a ton of stuff on him. And, he is the future of the Vikings. But do you take a year or two and let Aaron have a run at this thing? I don't know. That's what I would imagine. I would love to hear the Vikings, behind the scenes, their front office, hear the text. I don't know if they're putting it in text. I'm sure they're using WhatsApp, hopefully, or something like that. But they just trying to hear them talk through what's going on. They don't want anything on there. I know I should probably use WhatsApp. I don't. All my stuff's out there. But I'm just saying,
now every message you send is screenshotable. Is how you should view everything. That is how you should view everything. That's why if you're going to send one that's a little negative, make sure it's at least hilarious. Because whenever it gets out, people will be like, "Yup, that's my mantra." If I have to text somebody something negative, they've certainly earned it. Hey, you need to go fuck yourself from me, and I will do it in a way that if it was screenshot and put out there, people would be like, yeah, that was pretty.
Hats off.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. So you're right with that whole thing. But the Minnesota Vikings, they could go to bed one night thinking one thing and literally wake up the next morning thinking another thing. And I think it's the same thing for Aaron right now too. I think it's potentially the same thing for Aaron. And the same reason why it's probably taking so long is the same reason why he's pretty good at football. He's a deep thinker. He's a deep
calculated
thinker. Very calculated.
Quite.
Wants to be prepared. Wants to know all the he's a hippie for sure, but also in between.
Mike Tomlin's got to be selling it though. Sorry to cut you off. Mike Tomlin's got to be selling. Hey man, you see, I don't have losing seasons here. You've seen what I've been able to do, what this team has been able to do. Can you imagine what it looks like with you? I know he's 41 years old and all that, but can you imagine what this team could do with you at the helm? So those conversations have to be fun.
Yeah, exactly. With the Jets, and I know people are, kind of thinking that Aaron stinks because of the Jets situation, but the Jets are not an NFL franchise, okay? They are not legitimate. They are a terrible, terrible group. They will never win. Maybe they can with Aaron Glenn. I doubt it. But when you look at the Steelers, that's a completely different situation. And Mike Tomlin, you have a real real leader. You know, how many times has people come on here, Michael Lombardi in particular, talking about supreme leader? Like, the Steelers have that with Mike Tomlin, and they know exactly where they're going. And now they have DK Metcalf and George Pickens, and they have a couple running backs, and they have Muth. It's like we're acting as if the offense with Minnesota is levels and levels above. Justin Jefferson absolutely is, you know, one of one. But like DK Metcalf, George Pickens, and Pat Freiermuth are no schlubs. Like, those three together would be unbelievable to play with for him.
Especially it's got a running back, right? Who
Gainwell.
Ken Gainwell?
Yeah, good player.
Jalen Warren, we're all fans of.
And the offensive line?
Getting better.
Okay, so that's the big question.
Yeah.
Vikings also got sacked, 10 times in the playoff game.
Yeah, I agree in one game, but they had like a top 5, top 3 offensive line of
And
the season.
spent a bunch of money on the offensive line in free agency.
And they spent a lot of money in free agency as a whole.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings are like, now is our time, which is why the J.J. McCarthy convo is like, our whole team is built for now is the time. Is J.J. ready right now? That's a tough conversation to have, especially with how great he was, then an injury happening, how people bounce on the other side. I got faith in JJ being a guy. I do, especially with everybody around him that I respect's opinion says, like, this is a guy. This is a guy. It's like, do the Vikings want to have him have a year behind a pro for behind the scenes?
More faith.
In the meeting room, you know, like everything that happens as a professional quarterback that I wish, you know, a lot of these younger guys would have an opportunity to be able to do. I even said I wished Andrew Luck, even though he took our team to the playoffs his rookie year, I wish he would have been able to watch Peyton operate as the CEO of a football team in the NFL. Like, how you gotta, you know, how you can, what you're allowed to say, what you're allowed to do, who you're allowed to talk to, what you're allowed to say to people, what you're allowed to be like, nah, I don't like that play, I'm not doing it. I don't like that player on my team. I don't want him out there. I don't trust this guy. I would rather do this. What about when we're doing this? Like the quarterback taking ownership and understanding who he is and what he is a massive piece to teams having success. So, like, is JJ that guy? I think they've said he's a great leader. I think they've said JJ McCarthy has been ready to be a professional quarterback since high school through IMG and everything like that. But do you want to give him an opportunity to watch Aaron for another year? Is the convo that's happening right now? And then in Pittsburgh, it's like, Bob, we're trying to win right now, too. And the AFC North's only getting better. And the AFC has obviously been dominated by one particular team. But if you watch that Super Bowl, there's people in the AFC that think, like, maybe now the Chiefs are gettable. I don't necessarily understand that thought. Joining us is a man who brought up the Supreme Commander tagline that you talked about. Tomlin, certainly that.
And all that money going out the window, everybody's busy.
Okay.
Just let's not forget who won free agency last year and how did that end up for most teams, right? I think that's the memory you have to always Jacksonville's always won every free agency every single year. They haven't gone to the playoffs. I think this is just a little bit of the part of team building, right? I think you got to put this all in perspective.
Let's put it in perspective. If you're Aaron Rodgers, okay, let's say Aaron Rodgers wants to play football again. And I know you've been very busy down at UNC. I assume you've been paying attention to what's going on in the NFL because you have kids in the NFL. Everything, your life is football. So I assume you know. The conversation right now in Pittsburgh is, when is Aaron going to make a decision? That's what everybody's thinking. But I think Aaron is contemplating a lot. It hasn't come out from Minnesota definitively that they're interested in Aaron Rodgers, although the New York Times, The Athletic said they're certainly interested. But like Schefter's saying, I don't have any real info about the Vikings being interested in Aaron. The Giants, though, are saying, you know, we're waiting on Aaron. Steelers seemingly the same exact thing. If you're Aaron and you're playing again, let's assume that is the case first. What are you thinking about more so than anything if you're Aaron Rodgers before you make the decision, Lumbo?
Well, I want to get the bad taste of the Jets out of my mouth. And I think that, look, last year Minnesota wasn't supposed to win anything. Remember, they had Sam Darnold, and how could they ever win with Sam Darnold? And I think what that proves is what Bill Walsh said to me in 1984, very few people can coach the quarterback and even fewer can evaluate him. And I think when you look at the Minnesota Vikings and what Kevin O'Connell's able to do with the quarterback there, I think you have to give that strong consideration. I think the strongest point for Pittsburgh, obviously Mike Tomlin managing the game, not trying to win the game with offensive football and doing things that put the quarterback in really harm's way, is Arthur Smith is an outstanding offensive coordinator. I think he knows how to run the game. He knows how to win the game. That's the most important thing. It's not how many passes are we throwing, it's how are we going to win the game today. And I think O'Connell and Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin do a good job. So if I'm Aaron Rodgers, and certainly he knows more than I do, I'm looking at a situation where I'm going to be part of the team, not have to carry the team. Because that carrying the team, we saw that with the Jets last year. That just makes you the target, no one else.
Yeah, and a lot of people are holding, obviously, the last 2 years with the Jets against them. Tone Diggs, obviously a big-time Steelers fan. Also, Connor, big-time Patriots fan, have been like, can we really judge at the Jets, though? Because the Jets is the Jets. Did you see anything out of Aaron at the end of the year that makes you think, you know what, this guy can still win a Super Bowl, especially if he's put in a good spot? For me, yes, I'm friends with the guy. AJ, yes, we're friends with the guy. Everybody here the last, 3-4 games, Dominique Foxworth led off with a QBR stat that I did not expect, actually, this morning about how he ended the season on First Take or Get Up. I forget which one it was. And it was I remember watching the Jets towards the end because we actually watched the games because we had to because we're talking to him on Tuesday. And they looked like what the Jets we thought were going to look like with the entire staff that they had. He was moving, he was running, he was escaping, he was throwing dimes. They were getting open. It felt like he was back to being a guy again. What are your thoughts on that? And when do you know if a guy still got it?
I think when he's be able to throw the ball down the field, make plays, I think Aaron still can do that. I think when you put him with the right quarterback coach, somebody who's going to demand from him, kind of going to ask him to do things behind an offensive line that can protect. I think what Minnesota's done in free agency, they've signed, look, they've won me over. They signed 2 good defensive linemen, assuming Hargrave is healthy, and 2 offensive linemen that can really enhance their team. And they had a good team. So I think if you go to a situation where we put so much on the quarterback that he has to lead us to victory, and we hate the term manage the game because we think that is condescending to the quarterback, when in reality, way you set up the game for the quarterback to have success is part of the program. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is tremendous, but Andy Reid sets up the game for him to have success. That's what Kevin O'Connell did for Sam Darnold. I mean, that's the challenge out at Seattle. Can Sam Darnold maintain that level of play without the same coach? I think those are the things you have to take into consideration. And I think that Aaron's smart enough to know that. He's got to go to a team that is about the 3 phases, offense, defense, and the kicking game, and not have all these expectations all over him.
Lombo, is it possible that this Minnesota Vikings team, are they sitting there and worry about possibly stunting the growth of J.J. McCarthy or how he would feel if they brought a guy like Aaron in to be the starter for a year or so?
I think, to me, I'm not sure we think it's J.J. McCarthy's healthy. I think there was some concerns going through the season that maybe that knee injury was going to take a little bit more time. Look, any young quarterback, it's year 2 of his contract. They got 5 years. What are we in a rush for, right? If they sign Aaron Rodgers and they have him in their program, they're able to play 1 year, get him going, and maybe he takes over the starting job. He looked good in preseason, but we have learned this so often, that guys that look good in preseason doesn't always translate into the regular season. I mean, look at Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I mean, he had 2 great preseasons. The Browns thought he was going to be the next great quarterback for their franchise, and now they've traded him to Philadelphia. So I think you have to really temper down what happened in preseason. Only Kevin O'Connell and the people in that Minnesota Viking organization know where we're going with McCarthy. But more than anything, they've got to be concerned about that knee.
He is, by all accounts, a dude, but a lot of dudes get into the NFL, take a little time to learn. I don't think it's a bad thing. And if he has a 15-year career, we won't remember, the 1-2 years that he kind of waited. 1 year getting injured, 1 year maybe watching behind Aaron, especially if they have the success. And if he goes to Pittsburgh, it's like the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I know right now, they're like, come on. As soon as he starts slicing and dicing for the Steelers, they'll be completely behind him. Let's remember a couple days here in March, we might get a little bit antsy, but whenever season comes around, if you're winning ball, it's the only thing that matters. I think that is the only thing that cares, or that Aaron cares about as well. Now let's move to free agency as a whole. Conman has a question for you.
Yeah, Lombo, how do you feel about the contracts that have been given out? Obviously, some of the wide receivers have gotten lower deals, and then we see a lot of D linemen, a lot of O linemen getting massive deals. The Packers gave Banks a huge contract at guard. The Patriots gave Milton Williams the most money they've ever given a player in the history of the franchise. So how do you feel about some of those contracts, and are you surprised by any of them position-wise that are getting a lot of money?
No, I think the contracts that are being given out is a lot to do with the popularity of the sport.
Hey, watch that pollen count down there in North Carolina. It's got a pollen count.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I think this is a reflection of how popular our game has and how big the salary cap has grown. I mean, it's remarkable. I mean, look, the value of a player is determined by what the cap is. And I think Williams played really well down the stretch, and there was probably a bidding war for him, and that's why the market went way up. I mean, we've learned this a long time ago. If you're trying to sign offensive and defensive linemen in free agency, you're going to overpay. There's no question about that. That's why you have to do a really good job of drafting them. And you've got to do a really good job of finding them. I mean, look, the Chiefs signed, they had to re-spend money on a left tackle who was the backup at San Francisco because they so desperately need a left tackle. They got exposed in the Super Bowl by their offensive line, and now they're trying to recreate it again. It's hard to do in free agency. It's hard to do in college football. Look, that's where we're going to spend all our revenue-sharing money as an offensive and defensive lineman. We have to. Everybody's going to start talking about how many receivers are going to go in the first round. Meanwhile, the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl because they couldn't block. Meanwhile, the Eagles won the Super Bowl because they could rush the passer. And everybody wants to talk about how many receivers are going to go in the first round. The game's about offensive and defensive linemen, and that's why they get paid.
Hell yeah.
Boom.
And that's every free agency period over the last few years at least. The first couple of days have all been guards, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, D tackles. Everybody's trying to get it right. Obviously, what Howie was able to do over there in Philadelphia, have a top 3, if not top 1 offensive line, top 3, if not 1 defensive line. And Nick Sirianni has literally come in there and said that is his only O-line, D-line, Howie, him and his dad. That is literally how they see football. Why doesn't everybody see it that way? Why doesn't everybody see it that way, Lombo?
I don't know, but let me say this to you, Pat. I worked for Jeff Lurie for a brief time, for 2 years, ran a draft in 97 for him. And going back to that time when I was there, Jeff Lurie was all about offensive and defensive linemen. I mean, look, Howie does a great job, but this philosophy starts from the top down. The owner of the Eagles has always mandated offensive and defensive linemen are the priority for the franchise. And when you get that tenor coming from the top down, that means a lot. Like, he wants to be able, not saying they're not going to draft receivers. Obviously, they drafted Rieger. They didn't hit with him. They've got Smith, but they got to fix the offensive line. When Bill Walsh told me to go do a project on 3 receivers, Jerry Rice, Al Toon, and Eddie Brown, he said to me, we are now finally in position to draft a receiver. Our team is really good. We can add a great receiver. That's been my motto the whole time. Everybody wants to talk about how many receivers are going to go in the first round. If we can't block them, we ain't getting anywhere. If we can't rush the quarterback, we're not going to win. So to me, we're into the how many receivers are going in the first round draft status right now.
Let's talk about the offensive lineman going in the first round. Will Campbell?
Yep. Kelvin Banks.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Like, I don't.
Missouri.
Membo.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of, because there's allegedly an epidemic of not having offensive linemen anymore because of the way college ball has gone and high school has gone. So, I mean, you'd be in this more than anybody. You guys are trying to find people to become offensive linemen, aren't you? Isn't that like one of your
well, absolutely. If you take an offense, let's just say we're at North Carolina. We take a kid who plays right tackle, and then we get him in our program, and he can't play right tackle. Can he play guard? And if he can't play guard, we're going to have blown the pick. We're going to blown the recruiting process. So you have to take multidimensional players that give you a chance to have a back door, to give you a chance that if we don't hit here, we could play them here, right? And so that's really important. You have to what we call second order think. You've got to be able to see the player and say what would happen, what would have to happen for this player not to work out. Right? And so when you take a player that can only play one position, you really better hit with that. And that's a hard thing to do. For me, I think this has always been the case. You've got to try to find the best lineman that you can. And everybody talks about it. But let me say this to you. You need a great line coach. You need a great line coach. I'm a better personnel guy with a great offense. I'm sure Howie feels the same thing about drafting offensive linemen with Jeff Stoutman as his line coach. And you need a great defensive line coach, too, because without them, you can't get player development. Milton Williams, when he got drafted in the 3rd round, do you remember the scene in that draft room where Howie turned that card in and Tom Donahoe, who was working for the Eagles at the time, there seemed to be some form of disconnect in that draft room at that moment. And it was over maybe Milton Williams. That's who they turned the card in. Now he's making $26 million a year. Pretty interesting.
How do you feel about New England and what they're doing? Vrabel came out and literally said, we have opportunity and we have compensation at the Combine. He knew that they're probably going to have to overpay for some people to become New England Patriots. Obviously, the story's coming out about Chris Godwin going back to the Bucs, turning down a massive offer from the New England Patriots to stay in Tampa. But it felt like Vrabel looked for culture guys around the league. He felt like he was looking for people, bringing in Landry III from Tennessee, he already knows about, bringing in people that he thinks could fit his culture, and then spending big money on Milton because it feels like that is a guy he really wanted. How do you feel about what Vrabes has done here with his first real free agency run?
Well, I mean, they really have gone heavy into it. I mean, this is a team that typically has not been heavy in the free agency. If you go through the time when Bill was there, they were always in the bottom 10 of the bottom 3 of spending. I mean, Boston Connor knows that as well as anybody. But they put some money in. They had to. They've got to kind of get back. It's a large gap to close on the Buffalo Bills, but with the young quarterback that they have, now is the time to spend money because eventually you're going to have to redo Drake May's contract when he's good enough. So now's the time to add good young players to your roster when you have a rookie or a quarterback on a rookie contract. This is when you have to hit with all those draft picks. I mean, look, the Eagles have 10 picks going into this draft. I mean, this is a critical draft for the Eagles. I know they won the Super Bowl, but this is how you reestablish your team and rebuild your team and maintain excellence. Hard thing to do in the NFL, but that's how you have to do it. You just can't have 1 year.
Need the draft picks to perform if you're going to pay a lot of guys. That is just a matter
and
of
New
fact.
England's got to do it this year. This is why. And look, Vrabel's going to help them win games just by the way he manages a game. He's smart. He understands how to avoid losing first. He's a really good head coach. And with Josh McDaniels working with Drake May, I think they'll be very good offensively, and I think they'll be more cohesive in what they're doing offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I'm pumped to watch the Patriots. I'm pumped to watch Boston Connor. You know, he's all in. He's got a head coach 50 jersey and all the shit. I mean, it is a good time to be a Patriots. But, hey, who won the offseason last year? Who won free agent? This is Lombo's voice, not ours.
That's right.
Let's go and continue to talk about a team that is evolving quickly right in front of our eyes. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Lombo, team kind of on the other side of what you're talking about with the Patriots is the 49ers. They know they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy here soon, and we've seen them cut so many people this offseason, a bunch of people, starters on defense, and a couple other guys on offense. Moving forward, should fans of the 49ers, you think, be worried about where they're going? Like, because this team, obviously, it seemed like they put a lot of eggs in the, hey, we're going to get Bosa basket. That didn't work out. And outside of that, it seems like they're kind of just losing everybody, and this is going to be a brand new 49ers team next year.
I think they certainly have a gap to close, but they do it. They're going to need to do a really good job. John Lynch and his staff scouting are going to have to find some really good young players. Look, I think sometimes we see players that they lose and think, oh my, because another team played them. Perhaps the 49ers weren't really as aggressive to sign some of the players that they lost, and I think they could replace them. I mean, look, Jalen Moore wasn't going to play for them. I mean, obviously, he was a left tackle. He helped when Trent Williams got hurt, but they just redid Trent Williams' contract last summer, so they need to get him back. I think the Super Bowl ills of losing has gone away. I would suspect the Niners come back recharged. I fully expect them to get Brock Purdy's deal done. And I think they're going to have to add players to their team. Look, Debo wasn't the same player. I said all year on this show and everywhere that Debo is a very challenging player in terms of running the offense with, because he's so talented with the ball in his hands, but he's not the purest route runner. And so you have to kind of be creative to get him the football. Now, maybe Washington can incorporate that into their offense. San Francisco kind of lost a little bit of that. And now I think he's recharged to come back. So sometimes when teams lose marquee players, we in the media all think, oh my God, the end's coming to near. We said that last year at Minnesota. No one thought Minnesota was going to be as good as they were, right? No one thought the Rams would be as good as they were. Hell, the Rams play the Eagles better than any team in the playoffs.
Yep.
And if they don't blow the protection twice in a row down on the goal line, they might have beaten the Eagles and thrown the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, Jalen Carter's going to beat any protection whenever he wants. It seems like he going for the long term will be able to do that. And obviously, what you just said is the exact same reason I think why Matthew Stafford stayed with the Rams, because he understood how close they were, how young they were, how talented they were. And now they bring in Devontae Adams to go alongside Puka Nacua and everything that Sean McVay is able to draw up with a good run game. I'm pumped about the Los Angeles Rams and a move they made. You brought up the Washington Commanders there because obviously they bring in Debo. they've made a lot of plays. That Tunzel play was a big one. Obviously, Debo coming in there. They're spending money now. That's because, once again, they have a rookie quarterback, right?
No question. And he played so good, and he's only going to get better. And if they can protect him, they struggle with the offensive line. Getting Tunsil, who, really gives them a legitimate left tackle as a pass protector. He may not be the best run blocker in the league, but he gives them a pass protector. That Houston line, and I think it was clear by the trades they've made, the Houston line did not play well. They had 3 offensive line coaches down in Houston. Everything was kind of a mess. Nobody really was on the same page, run game, pass game. I think they fixed that now. And I think that obviously they feel they can find a left tackle moving forward. But Tunsil can re-energize his career in Washington. And I think with a guy like Jalen Daniels, that certainly can help. Look, I think the other thing we can learn from the Eagles is they did a great job of understanding what their team needed, and they went out and addressed it in the offseason. They did exactly what they needed to do. I think Washington has to do exactly the same thing, and if it works out, they can take another step.
How about anytime a team makes an offensive line move, we like it. And obviously Washington doing this with Laramie, and hopefully he's able to continue to go. Hopefully they're able to take the next step. But you, I don't think you're the only one, but you, a lot of people, I just kind of reiterated the fact there, but have said, Chicago has no idea what type of team they're supposed to be. Chicago plays in Chicago. Chicago plays in the elements. Chicago gets his quarterback, and they're like, well, how do we take care of him? We get wide receivers, and then they have the worst offensive line in football. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Lumbo, how do you feel about the Bears now? Ben Johnson comes in.
Finally.
Yeah, they bring in the best free agent center and Drew Dahlman.
Tone, finally. Last year they won the offseason. They won the offseason. They were the greatest team in the history of football in the offseason. They did it all. We were giving Ryan Pace the General Manager of the Year award because he signed 2 receivers. Oh, my God, it was great. Everybody loved them. Oh, finally he figured it out. Maybe our line does stink. I said it for how long? How long did I say it? You can't, unless they count the 5 Mississippi, we're not going to win a game. And so finally he brings in some guys. I mean, it took a bad year. He's fortunate he held on to his job. I mean, I would have gotten fired in that job if I would have. I would have. They would have fired me. He got lucky. I mean, Matt Eberflus is sitting down in Dallas saying, why the hell didn't they do that for me last year?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of GMs that are thinking, I probably still shouldn't have a job here. Ryan Poles, though, if they turn this around, nobody's even going to remember all the other stuff because he's still so wildly young, and he had to be a part of the assistance of getting Ben Johnson to the Bears as opposed to anywhere else that they wanted him.
$13 million got Ben Johnson to the Bears. Let's not forget that. $13 million got Ben Johnson to the Bears. But, nothing says, hey, Pat, one thing we learned in the offseason, it's the great Arnold Rothstein line. He says this all the time. The guy who fixed the 1913 World Series. He said, "Nothing says I'm sorry better than money." Right? Nothing says I'm sorry better than cash. Look, Myles Garrett. Nothing says I'm sorry better than making you the highest paid player in the league. Oh, I'll come back on the team. Ben Johnson, $13 million. Nothing says that you could coach here. Come on, that's what we were talking about.
Guy who fixed the 1913 World Series, Alan Rothstein. He was a money guy.
Arnold Rothstein.
Arnie Rothstein was a big money guy, or what? He was just.
He was brilliant, Pat. He was a monster back in the early century. I'll give you a little, but he was so smart that every guy that worked for him, bodyguards and all. He had a life insurance policy on all of them. And so when they died, guess who was the beneficiary of it?
Who's that?
Arnold. Of course Arnold was. That's why he was, every death, Arnold was making money.
Arnold.
You should do that with us.
Arnold, yeah, boys. Got life insurance policies on all you?
Yeah.
Coming right back to me. Now,
Pat, you learn a little more every. It's not just about football, right?
No, especially whenever we're talking about Rothstein back in the day. He cooked the 1913 World Series. His nickname was the Brain.
Genius.
That's awesome. Law-abiding citizen.
Great character in Boardwalk Empire.
Really?
Great character.
And what's that? That was during the Prohibition era where they were hustling.
Nucky Thompson.
Yep.
Nucky Thompson, what a character. I wanted the Nucky Thompson Four Loko when they banned it. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
They banned Four Loko, and I wanted to send all the boys out to go buy as much as they possibly can right now from all the states that it was possibly available. And then we're going to run an underground operation to sell Four Loko because I'd seen numerous people change their lives completely whenever they would be on Four Loko. Nick Baraldo was super chill guy at the bar, super chill guy at the club. You get 1-4 Loco in there, and that second word would take over his body. And Nick was fucking leading dances, walking over, buying shots. I'm like, this guy comes alive. And then they were in a band, and I'm like, you're taking this guy's life away. So Nucky Thompson was obviously able to do his thing. I thought we'd be able to do it. Turns out it would not have been worth the juice. Wouldn't have been worth the
Sure.
Yeah. So we lost 4 Loco forever, and we lost that Nick forever too. But Nick, we know we found you in a couple different times.
Rest in peace.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Walked into a country bar in Pittsburgh. This guy's fucking leading up in the front with the guy dressed in all black.
That's sweet.
I walked in. I just got back from Indianapolis. I drive back from Indianapolis, big night in taking a vacation in Pittsburgh, which was my standard operating procedure. Friday night, we walk into the country bar. I forget what his name, Saloon something, downtown.
Saddle Ridge.
Saddle Ridge, there it is. Walk into Saddle Ridge, trying to find the boys. Where's everybody at? Is that Nick? Nick is leading the square dance and this entire thing. Then he sees me, obviously comes dancing over, tells me I need to get on dance floor. I'm like, this is a whole new human being here. 4 Loco, brother, it's the greatest thing of all time. And then we just go right into the night. It was a good time. Dangerous.
Of course.
Very, very dangerous. Just like the beatbox I chugged yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. Shaq's drink has like 11.1% alcohol in it, Lombo. We chugged one on the show yesterday. I felt it. Like I couldn't drive probably 2-3 hours after that thing. Legitimately, just one of these things. It's like, I'm happy I don't do that anymore. But Nucky Thompson was a dog. Sounds like Mr. Rothstein was maybe the brain behind it all. And I didn't know that person existed until today. And that's because this guy's brain is gigantic. Lombo, we appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Thank you, guys. Always good. Always good. Thank you. Appreciate
How's UNC?
the help.
How's UNC? How we doing at UNC?
UNC's great. You know, we're excited. We got a basketball game today. Hopefully our men's team can get into the tournament with a win against Wake Forest if they can keep going. Our women's team is going to host a couple games, which I'm really excited about. I'll go watch them play. So, and our baseball team, Pat, you got to come down and sit out in the outfield one of these. The baseball team is great. So,
I mean,
life is good here. Life is good at Chapel Hill.
Lacrosse team too, Lombo. You guys have got a great.
Thank you. Yeah. Both men and women's lacrosse.
You guys are stealing all the lacrosse.
They're poaching them.
That's what I'm saying. Did the men's lacrosse coach say, hey, we don't need all of our players playing on your football team? Okay, we understand.
No, the football general manager is saying we don't need to recruit just all lacrosse players.
We saw this from one of the basketball games last week. Look at the big dap. Hey, how we doing, boys?
We had a great weekend. You know, we had a bunch of great players. That young man there is going to play for a state championship in basketball. He's one of the best basketball players in the state. Great football player. So there's a lot of great players we had there. We're really excited about it. And look, when you have the greatest coach of all time, people want to come spend time with him. You'd be shocked how you would love to sit in on those meetings when Bill's sitting there watching tape with a young player and showing them what they do when they're playing high school tape and then how they relate to the Patriot players of old. So it's a lot of fun. We're having a blast.
Do you guys only dap up now around, or is there still handshakes, or are we not touching? Because I think that was a big surprise by everybody on the internet, including former Patriot players saying, Bill Belichick's dapping everybody up. That was a
yeah.
How long have we been working on that? And is that how you two greet each other every morning? Salt.
No. We're still in that. We got to get better mode. Yeah, we're a long way.
We're not
away.
dapping.
Yes,
Back to work. Yeah, I got it. Are you dapping? Are you dapping as well?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I mean, I'm out there going there. I even put the word bet on text now, Pat. I mean, now I even know lingo. I got a bet. I even know what that means. I was getting these texts from players saying bet. Like, what the hell does that mean? You know, and I finally figured it out.
You should respond with you. With a hat emoji, okay? And just send that.
Yep.
Send that back. Just send that back. It should be great. All right, Lombo, we appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Are you allowing TikTok dancing in the locker room or no?
I don't know about that one. You know, I don't have TikTok, so I don't even know what that is, but I'll look into that.
Rich Rod banned it. You're allowed to have TikTok. Just don't want you dancing on there.
No dancing.
Okay, no dancing on there. That's not the type of players we want. Matt Rule, I think, is banned the dancing on TikTok as well. Feels like this is potentially a thing that's going to continue to unfold.
Might help.
You know, if UNC guys are dancing on TikTok with Bill Belichick, I love everything about that.
Bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Marty. Thank you, Lombo.
Yeah, Lombo.
All right, so big night out sold out.
Nice.
Officially sold out. I guess there's singles, that are available around the arena, which we'll probably do giveaways with, or doubles that are like maybe one seat separated from each other. So I guess it is deemed officially a sellout. I think it was at 1:35. I got the text message from Justin at the WWE. What an absolute beast he has been for us in all departments because of the way the ticketing has to be in relation to the show. You see, there's actually a ticketing element to the show, and once you get there, you'll understand that because it's very important, how many people are in each row, how many rows are there, how do you do the whole thing for the giveaways that are happening, so it is, it's been a lot of work by a lot of parties. Old Justin Scalise at the WWE has been a lot of help, and he sent me a text at 1:32, and said, boom, sold out. And it was like, all right, nice. That's a pretty cool thing. That is a very cool thing. Now the show is gonna deliver. And to the people that spent their time today going onto that website, probably whenever it would crash and wouldn't be able to load and continue to maintain the effort to get these tickets, I can't thank you enough. And we're going to give you a goddamn show. Okay. It is going to be it's going to be a big time show. And people just buying tickets on the thought of what it could be is sweet. And we're going to make it well worth it. And AJ, this is a cool day for the program here. This is a cool day. It's Pittsburgh. Awesome. It's the city of Pittsburgh, PPG Paints Arena, home of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The team that I've literally been a fan of since I'm a kid, in the city that I grew up in. And an event like this happening there is something that, as I was kind of dreaming it up, it felt like it was a perfect place to do it. Because not only is it like a thank you from me to City with how much money we're going to be giving away, but also a moment where I think me and the boys are probably going to look around and go, holy fuck, I can't believe this is all happening. So shout out to Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas for making this happen and everybody that's traveling in. This can be a moment that's probably on the old documentary someday or something that's going to be chatted about in the history of my existence, my family's existence. And it's all pretty surreal right now that it's going to happen. And thank you so much. Thank you, people.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Good job putting it all together, too. A lot of shit went into it as well.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool doing this entire process. Mm-hmm. It's been a lot of
moving parts.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, a lot of moving time zones too. So people have questions and people want to set up meetings at different times of day, and that hasn't necessarily been the easiest. And we're working on other people's schedules. This is other people's schedules. Had to pitch a lot. Had to pitch a lot to a lot of people for all these things. Because whenever you're booking people that are friends of yours, they obviously have business happening, which is why we are asking them to be a part of the show, because obviously they are very notable individuals. So you obviously have to get the okay first from said act, like, yeah, something I'm definitely into. Now we got to go to team. There's haters in team too. There's people that do not think that this is, why are we, this is the guy that pissed off all Canada? Are we sure we want it? So there was a lot of that with like and it's been fun. Different languages have been spoken. I mean, it's been fun. It's been a lot of extra shit. It's been a lot of extra shit to do, but it's been like an enjoyable experience because it's so different than what we do here every single day. But
different, but similar.
Similar, yeah. Booking is always booking. That is kind of how it is. Doing a show is always doing a show. It's just what are the different elements, And with the elements that we have for this one, I think it's going to be a fucking great show. I think it's going to be well worth it. I'm losing money, a lot of it on this show, and it's like it's worth it completely just to see if it's possible and also to give back and say that it's like it's a cool thing to be a part of. But there's gonna be people that say, money grab for, like, anytime you sell anything, people automatically say like money grab. I would like to let you know this one is a shovel going right out of our company, right back into the city I'm from and the people that make it all possible. So I'm excited about it. I'm pumped about it. Wednesday, April 9th should be epic, and now we have a crowd. And that is a cool thing to think about at this exact moment, AJ.
It's probably the hardest part. I mean, you took care of that. Like, that's the thing. Like, how do you fill a place? This place is an arena, and the fact that it's already, all the tickets are already gone. I mean, that's the toughest thing usually.
Yeah. So talking to these people, all the selling.
Yeah.
And I go, don't want to use anybody's name. Want it to be a complete surprise. Like, if the name gets out, I might cancel. Like, that is how I would like the pop of the person, just like in wrestling. I would like the surprise of the person showing up, awesome, so that everybody just goes, what? holy, that type of, that's the react. I would like a lot of those reactions on Wednesday, April 9th, for the good of the show, for the good of the program, for the good of the program. I would like it to be complete surprise. So obviously all the business people, they don't want their person being used to sell tickets, right? Like, hey, if you're using our name and everything like that, it's like, no, want no names. Like that is, I want absolutely no names out. Like that is the goal of this entire thing. And then they go, are you going to be able to? And I'm like, I think we'll be able to. I think we'll be able to. And then that was a lot of us selling to people too. Like, because it would look bad for us to show up in a place is not, So if you were to have to use our name to sell it, I'm like, that's not the goal. Like, don't want to have to use name at all. So we'll have that conversation if we have to, but do not want to have to. So shout to fucking Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool. That is really cool because it was a small little program, just small little program. That's all,
Regional show.
How about all the people at the WWE that are just like, yup, we'll help, yup, we'll help, yup, we'll help. The production in the arena is going to be absurd.
Says a lot about the WWE versus like other companies we've worked with too, or that you've worked with.
Yeah, I think so. And, with the idea of this show being like 3 years old, thinking of this show, now is the right time. And like literally told WWE folks, can only do it if you guys do the in-arena stuff. Like nobody else could pull off what you guys could pull. And I've never approached any company that we've ever worked with about like, hey, could you help me with this? But I think you guys are the only ones that can pull it off. And everybody over there has just kind of bought in. Shout out to Marty, Fathom, Neil, Nick, obviously, Lee in there. This guy named AJ, I just met. He's a behind-the-scenes guy that I don't know if a lot of people know at WWE. Fucking weapon, this guy. Just graphics being shown to me about what things could look like. It's like, yeah. That's awesome. Got it. No problem at all. I'm like, thank you, AJ. Lindsay Lloyd, obviously, on it. She's over at WWE. And then everybody else that has helped piece this thing together. I can't thank you enough. You know who you are. Wednesday, April 9th, sold out PPG Paint Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It'll be a big night. Peace out. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Yeah, I'm happy we did that. That was cool. All right, let's take a break. I'm gonna go gather myself here. And then we're going to do the next hour. We're going to talk sports.
Nice.
Lombo gave us a lot of gospel there.
He did. I love it. I love when he, listening to his podcast that he used to do before he took that gig, talking about teams winning free agency. Nothing pissed off Lombo more than that. And a lot of things pissed Lombo off. So it's always fun to hear his opinion. And the guy lived it for so many years and he continues to live it. So, yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
I think whenever he was on a great team, and maybe they won or something, and then in the offseason in March, they're talking about all these shit teams being great, and they're not talking about their team. It's like, we're the actual team. And now we're getting put down because we didn't add but some shit team is being talked about as being heroes because they signed a bunch of. That's probably where that comes from. There's probably a perspective of, oh yeah, we're not good. Okay, because this team is overpaying this guy. How he feels probably about every deal that happens around the NFL. I love that perspective. But I also appreciate the teams that try in the offseason. And I think that's why fans love them so much because it's like, at least this team's trying. They're spending money. They're trying to catch up, yada, yada, yada. It's the optimism. And Lombardi's on the other side like, let's just talk about the good teams. Why are we talking about the Chicago Bears?
So Jacksonville, they win the free agency every single year.
Every single year.
But every year there's that team. Like the
Commanders,
Texans the year before,
Bengals like 4 years ago when they go to the Super Bowl.
It happens every year.
Yeah, Lombo doesn't want to see that.
A lot of those were draft though.
A lot of those have to have good. You have to have good draft picks. Like that is throughout all of this, what we're learning, this modern era, you can pay damn near everybody if you want, but if you do that, your draft picks have to be good. Have to be able to play. There's some teams I guess that can't pay everybody. Some people that don't pay everybody. But some of these teams that are winning are paying a lot of the people on their team, a lot of them, a lot of money. And then it's because the draft picks do well. They're cheap and they're able to perform. I think the Chiefs 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl, they have 2 rookies at corner or safety or something like that. I forget. It was like they had 2 brand new guys to the team playing very important positions. And if they don't play as great as they do, they have no chance. But these young guys, Veach, scouting department, Spags, everybody puts them on it. They play great. It's like that's why you can do that. Eagles, same exact shit. The young guys play great. So you can pay, but you got to hit in the draft. And then you got to be able to coach. And I think that's where
There's a lot to it. There's a lot that goes into winning, especially that being the team that wins the Super Bowl every year. Man, like so many people from the top down have to be very, very good at their job.
Everybody has to be aligned too. Remember, that's the big thing. Everybody has to be seeing the same exact thing whenever they're looking at either strategy, a player, coach. That's why winning for 25 years or whatever the fuck it was up there in New England is insane.
Yeah, exactly. And Belichick stinks at drafting. But in 2020, think about it too. When the Chiefs lost to the Bucs that offseason, they got Joe Thuney, and then they drafted Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith.
Yeah, all these good guys, all these good teams seemingly do it one way.
Yep.
And there's everybody else trying to recreate the wheel.
The Eagles, I mean, on rookie contracts, Milton Williams, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, then both their corners.
Both corners, yeah.
That's good.
Mekhi Becton for a bag of balls.
Yeah.
What do you got over there, Philly? And I know Big Dom had some thoughts.
About that.
Always.
All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll wrap up this glorious Thursday. We'll talk about the basketball games that have been taking place while we're on. Haven't done as much talking about the games that are on while we're live, because if you wanted to watch or hear about that, you would watch that probably. That's like kind of my mindset. But I just want people to know there are games on right now.
Yep. It's Seth on.
We talked about March Madness as a whole. I feel like we covered it.
The first round of these tournaments.
A lot of teams that still stink.
Yeah, like Monday will be cool. Post weekend, semi and finals of these tournaments.
Even tomorrow, like those games will be much better than the games today.
Duke's up 66-58 currently with 2:22 left in the second. Cooper Flagg got hurt in the first half with a rolled ankle. Got it taped up, got brought back to the bench. I don't think he has been put on the court yet because they've been in the lead since he's come back, so they're probably just resting him. But if they were to be in a battle or start to lose, I think they'd probably put him out there to see how it goes. That's just me watching and keeping up with what's been going on this monitor right here. Not sure if that's true. Duke should get past Georgia Tech by all accounts, but they were down early. A little bit of a scare. Were they just kind of, half-assing it against the Yellow Jackets?
Sure.
Potentially. Will they finish it out? We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about everything else happening around the sports world. You're the greatest people on earth. Thank you so much for everything. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5.
They can run it, they can spin it, they can kick it. This Buckeyes team is playing football at a level nobody else in the country is playing right now.
That's crazy. Nice you got people to do that. And also take us off the fucking team. We do not deserve to do that. They all commit and love what's going on in that weight room. They all commit and love what Jim Harbaugh's preaching. And everybody in the building's happy. Everybody's like excited to be there.
First row, Mark pressure in the first row. Second row is up here.
It is infectious what they got going on. And how many owners are spending $300 million on a new facility just for a practice facility?
This is Butler Birdies. Wow!
Oh my God! Oh shit! In the bunker.
Great shot. But then for them to do it upright for the last couple, it's like, look out for the Chargers, dude. Look out for the Chargers.
Coach. Hey, we got a gift for you. Here we go. Okay, so we missed your birthday, we missed Christmas. We couldn't have
Whoa, look at that.
Your perspective on high five is one of the greatest things we've ever seen. So all-time great event.
I love the high five. Yeah, give each other a high five.
Boom!
Bam!
Boom!
Bam!
Boom! Boom!
Oh my God!
Wow! Boom!
So we wanted to make you basically something that you could high five. My dad made this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You can tell me.
Yeah, boom. How's that feeling? Yeah. Boom. Yeah. Boom. Boom. And we tested it. I think you can get that a pretty good pop if you need. Yeah.
That is incredible.
Obviously, national champion, Michigan man, and greatest high five.
Yeah.
Because of what you brought for the high five world.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to give a handshake to that particular high five trophy. Did break the hand off. We had to put it back on.
Way to go handshake.
Oh, no! Oh, no! We have so much respect for him. You guys just roll deep. This would be entourage level, wouldn't it? To be honest, we didn't know we were going to be able to get 11 people in here, and then we would pull up so we'd have 11. That's where it should roll 11. Yeah, always start 11. I mean, wow, it looks like a lot of highlights against one particular team.
They played more than one game. Why did they have all these TVs for one game?
Imposing our will.
This sucks.
Party in the backfield. No one. We mean no one. How beats us up, but this might be close.
I love that Chargers team even more now.
If you were to touch this grass, it would feel as if the history of football was kind of one with your soul, one with your body. And then you look at the views, the sand, Gabriel mountains with the cotton candy clouds, the way the sun will rise and then the sun will set, and as the sun is setting tonight, there's going to be a football game taking place. You're talking about movie stuff. What do you think it is about your team and that locker room, and why do you think you guys have been able to show up every week?
I think the buy-in on our team is unbelievable. We talk about a player-led team. I think a lot of people say that, but so rarely do you actually see it.
Two Goliath Big Ten teams. What a magical matchup here in the Rose Bowl. And watching Ohio State do what they did to Tennessee, it felt good for the North. They did. It felt good for the bowl.
Look at that field.
God, look at those mountains.
Look at those mountains. San Gabriel Mountains. There's the field.
The San Gabriel.
San Gabriel Mountains.
I believe that means the Gabriel.
All parties and all agree that it's in the best interest of everybody and public safety that we postpone the game for 24 hours.
AJ Hawk's working for the bowl.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to beautiful Pasadena, California, the granddaddy of them all, the 111th Rose Bowl, which will be taking place on the most beautiful field in the history of football. The Oregon Ducks, who are the Big Ten champs, will take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. The college football playoff is obviously in the middle of a transition era, but we go back in time into a movie-like setting to battle in the Big Ten to see who gets to move on and who goes home. Our UFO just flew over top B-2 stealth bomber and in the national anthem. And on the day in the United States of America where a heinous act has happened, it's a nice reminder that we'll get your ass. You might take a shot, but you're never gonna win. And 10 from Will Howard. Same exact play action. Drops it off to Jeremiah Smith. With space. He's a monster! Jeremiah Smith! First touch is a touchdown! Time. Shot down the middle. Puka. Ooh! Touchdown!
See the split safeties right here. So Will Howard knows his read, looks him off, steps up in the pocket. Great throw.
Takes a shot. And what happens? Jeremiah Smith comes up with the ball. Hand off. Run to the left. Jordan James. Will Howard. Time. Oh, no. Jeremiah Smith's wide ass open. And that's a touchdown. Ohio State is kicking the living shite out of the Oregon Ducks. If Jeremiah Smith is on your team, I think you can win every game. Travion Henderson. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown! They can run it. They can spin it. They can kick it. This Buckeyes team is playing football at a level nobody else in the country is playing right now. Now there's a low snap. Rolls left, throws back to the right. Jeremiah Smith's on the field. So that's another first down. Thus far, this game has been absolutely shite. Step in. Oh my God. That is so beautiful. You got Matt Hardy on the left there. AJ, chance.
I see at the 47. Unfortunately, my youngest son puked all over himself and went to the hospital, so my whole family's not here anymore to hear that. But I'm getting some updates every once in a while. He seems to be doing not much better. He puked over the whole section. Jeez. Instant urgent care, instant hospital.
Oh, no.
What type of shite was he eating? Is someone making salmon down here? We came down here and smelled like fish.
look at this.
For those that have never been here, I would recommend coming and checking it out. Although this particular game was absolute shite.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Lovely place here on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Dano?
Oh, what's up, Pat McAfee?
Dan, you are too young to listen to this show. I can tell. I think. How old?
I'm not Dan. I am Owen.
Mitt. Owen, how old are you?
It's so different.
I am at 8.5.
Oh, that's cute.
8.5. If you're telling us you're half age, you're too young to be listening.
That's a record.
It stinks.
What's on your mind, pal?
What do you want to talk about, Owen?
I want to talk about how inspiring this show is and how you're inspiring this whole entire world with how you're talking about sports and how you're talking about your life experience.
Thank you, Owen.
Owen, thank you.
Love you, Owen.
Thank you, Owen. I'm taking her on
and
the
also, fuck Boston College.
I will let Owen know, if you're still listening, Owen, you're inspiring.
Best kid ever.
Owen, the way you talk about sports is inspiring.
Yes!
I didn't know 8.5 could do that.
Wow.
Shout out Owen.
That time.
Go, Owen.
Hey, Owen. New generation in Connecticut, I guess.
He was making me feel good, too, by the way. He was making me feel good, making the show feel good. He was talking us up. He was hyping us up, and then boom, a little...
Was this Aristotle's brother?
A little misdirection from Aristotle's brother, Owen, at 8.5 there. That was awesome.
I'd say he put his balls on your forehead, but I don't think they dropped yet. So.
Jalen Milroe often wears his own branded apparel reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien.
That is not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me.
It got real tight up here as you were. I just want to let you know.
Reese, you were too smooth with that. I thought it was going down. I thought it was going down out here. I looked over at Liz.
Oh, sorry about it. Let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know. That's what we thought the whole time. That's what we all thought. This guy sucks. This guy's the worst of all time.
Almost.
Timmy.
Corbin, that was good.
He's the worst we've ever seen.
Hey.
I think you're nervous in front of Bob Dylan.
No.
I think that's probably...
No. One more shot. One more.
You want the Texas guy to get one more kick? All right, how about this? Kirk Herbstreit said he'll match another $200,000. I will as well. This is an $800,000 kick, Corbin.
Yeah!
This guy's got no shot.
Come on, Harry.
Come on, Herbie. Timmy, you want a match?
Yeah, I'll get in there too.
Okay, all right, sweet.
Is that 1.2?
Yeah, it is.
$1.2 million kick.
Yeah. Holy hell.
Let's go.
Everything just got very real all of a sudden. That first attempt was god-awful. But now you got a $1.2 million operation. All you got to do is kick the ball through those uprights. It looks shorter than 33 yards. Stanford.
Is that legally binding?
Yeah.
That's a legally binding offer.
Yeah, we got you,
You're
Timmy.
the lawyer, Corbin. Is that a real offer?
Yeah, it is. It's on camera.
It is? Okay.
Hey, bro, somehow he got under that ball.
Yeah, he said it was like a 9-iron. That was more like a duff of a wedge, bub.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and try to maybe bring out the 1-iron.
On one hand, we've never seen
1.2 million.
Come on, Corbin.
1.2.
Holy hell. That's a lot of money. You're a lawyer. You live nice. You wear suits. But 1.2 million can change a lot of things. On SEC Championship Saturday in Atlanta for $1 million. That got pretty expensive. Quick stuff.
I'm starting to sweat.
That was too close.
Corbin, I'm starting to
Thought we got hustled. Bob Dylan coming out on Christmas. endorsements. The movie's supposed to be Oscar-worthy. Thankfully, stop by. Hope shit's awesome. Reese, that got a little bit nerve-wracking there for a few moments. Back to you.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this big night out, sold out Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Hour 3 of the program starts now.
Big night out.
Okay, way to go. That's AJ
Yeah.
Hawk.
All right, Hawk. Okay, Hawk. Try to time my delay.
Yeah, you did great. Yeah, obviously
timing.
the delay will get you kind of miscombobulated on a regular basis, but at least you attempted, especially with the audible that was thrown here that maybe wasn't texted to you exactly because you've had the wrong word a few times that you're yelling or chanting. You've opted out of a lot of team unifying situations. So for you there to even attempt it with the at the end, proud of you, man.
Good on you.
That's a lot.
Proud of you, AJ. We're in a good spot. Haircut looks phenomenal as well. Still has a little bit of the
the poof.
That's my thing. It's gonna be my thing, I guess.
Yeah, well, what happened? Do you think did you change the lighting in there or something? Or did you dye your hair jet black?
Does it look? Yeah, I did not change the light. Every day is a different lighting situation in here and camera situation. I try to adjust it and make it look like the day before, but it doesn't really ever work out.
The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. The mullet's flowing. Bud.
Hey, thank you very much. Not as much a mullet anymore. I'm growing the sides out currently.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, why you keep wearing a hat? Why you keep wearing a hat? Why don't you let it go? He's in the middle stages on
the awkward long
just have
hair
long hair now.
Yeah. Well, not yet. We're getting there. We're almost there. Probably about a month out.
Yeah, because he's at the weird stage with the side. But then his hair really long.
Got those sweet curls, though. Those nice natural curls.
My hair is extremely curly, yes.
Yeah, he's got a little bounce to the ounce.
Got some volume.
At Ty Schmidt, great hair right now, obviously.
I'm about ready to get it cut, but I can't.
No, can't.
Yeah, no, I know. I got about another 6
Month
weeks
and a half,
before
yeah.
I can. Yeah,
Why is that?
Well, I like to grow it out this time of the year.
Every year.
Yep, every year. Just grow it out for a while, until like the end of April, and then eventually I just say fuck it. I notice too many grays, and I say I'm tired of seeing these fucking.
Yeah, but you wear suits this time of year, glasses.
Yeah, it's just to remind you that spring has sprung. I like to do that when we got 71-degree days outside.
Love having the worst hair.
Exactly. Let's grow my hair out, make it hotter. Let's put suits on, and do that kind of stuff. It's really what this time of the year is all about.
Yeah, why? You love giving football takes too in a passion fashion.
I mean, maybe that
Draft
happens here, there. Yeah, exactly. NFL draft right around the corner. Who doesn't love that? So there's just a lot of reasons to grow your hair out and slick it back and poof it up and put a suit on this time.
I think I speak for everybody. Thanks for your commitment.
You bet.
Thanks
Hey, you
for
got
your
to commit to something.
Yeah, you certainly do, and you have, and that's a good thing. One half of the hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tone, waiting for a commitment from Aaron Rodgers. Ain't that right?
That is true, isn't it?
Any updates? Any updates in the last hour as we've been celebrating what's happening in our world right now?
I DM'd him, so we'll see. I sent him a picture of the Steelers symbol.
AJ, have you texted him at all?
I have not, but Tone did tell us tonight is what the blood moon situation. So I assume something's got to happen.
I sent him the Steelers symbol. I said, if you look at that blue, that's just like that ocean you're looking out at. And I saw in the pictures, there was a nice yellow glow coming off the ocean. That would be that sunset, and then the red moon tonight, and all those combined. That leads you coming to Pittsburgh. So he hasn't got back to me yet. But
How's he feel about? Was that what he was?
Listen to?
Probably.
I didn't even think about that.
Or a skull chant.
Sticks potentially.
He would never do that.
I don't think we can say never.
I don't know.
If he signs, maybe he would never preemptively do that before he's a Minnesota Viking ever.
Well, I saw Michael Strahan waving a Philadelphia Eagles flag before the Super Bowl in front of like $100 million or something like that. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
Giants fans were real excited about that.
Yeah, they were.
Big fans of that.
So if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Minnesota Vikings, who's going to the New York Giants?
Russell Wilson.
What if Russell Wilson goes to Cleveland Browns? Who's going to the New York Giants?
Shadur Sanders.
Okay, so that's what it is then, right? It's like, okay, we need a rookie quarterback.
I think that's the
statement on Matt Stafford, allegedly $100 million. Remember? That was alleged.
Yeah.
The deal that they offered Matt Stafford. Now they're allegedly in on Aaron Rodgers, allegedly in on Russell Wilson. They've made it very well known we would like a veteran quarterback. What if they can't get a veteran quarterback, then they're going all eyes to the draft, I
Well,
guess.
they did re-sign Tommy Cutlets.
I forgot about old Cutlets. I forgot about DeVito spinning the pill.
They might say fuck it and call Atlanta and just offer, a high draft pick
For Kirk.
and grab Kirk.
Feels like that is probably the next on their list if this is to fall through. Aaron to Minnesota is something that we talked about for a few weeks. Now it's being reported potentially an opportunity. Aaron to Pittsburgh, something we've talked about for a few weeks, could be awesome. Aaron to the New York Giants. Okay, hasn't been talked about it much on this show, but other shows have certainly talked about it a lot. We have not talked to Aaron. All three storylines definitely intriguing. Let's continue to chit-chat a little bit about more stuff happening around the sports world. Viral moment. I would like to say Algo got it right moment.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Fat Perez down there?
Oh.
At the players?
Recreating Tiger's iconic putt here, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he just put the ball there or if they ended up there or whatever the case was. I don't know how we got to this particular point, but rolling this fucker home with the eyes of the PGA on you, and I know he's a great golfer. Okay, I know that Fat Perez and the boys are great golfers over there, and he most definitely is. But at this moment, on this iconic green, with what Tiger did there, rolling that thing home, and then the way he went about it, putting the hands in the pocket, this guy walk his back, that's falling, I think. Yeah. Take her home. What a moment.
Unreal.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, the YouTube golfers are certainly being talked about at the moment. Rory McIlroy's giving his take on it. It's like, I love golf. I love golf more when I'm watching it than playing it because of how bad I am. But these content creators, with their incredible ability and freedom to be able to do so much shit, I love everything about it, Age. I love everything about what Fat Perez just did.
Why'd Rory take that dude's phone? He was pissed off in the practice round because the guy, was it taking loud? Did he have his ringer on as he's taking pictures or something?
I have no idea. I did not get that far. I just saw the quote, and then I saw Robbie Berger obviously answering, and he does sports in a fantastic way. And I'll tell you what, his love of a Caesar salad is really something that should be talked about more. But yeah, I've just basically kept up from, just following along, whether it's the Foreplay Boys or it is Brilliantly Dumb and Fat Perez and all those guys. And I just kind of follow along and see the clips.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Rory got pissed off at somebody at the putting green and went up there and just started.
At a tee box, he went and just took a dude's phone. I don't know where he took it. I mean, I wish he would have punted it into the pond or something. If you're gonna take it, you got to do something with it.
Yeah, a huck.
Yeah.
Or a spike like Jason Kelsey.
Ooh, yeah.
Or a spike. And maybe that guy was saying the same thing that was being said to Jason Kelsey. Not 100% sure of it all, but I think golf's in a good spot, and I think what those dudes and ladies of golf content creation on the internet is good for the sport as well. I am a massive fan. I see those clips year round, obviously. Them talk in the interviews and the stories and the shots and the golf courses they play. They play a lot of golf courses that I would obviously never get to see unless it was a PGA. So I'm in on the golf content creators, even though Rory's completely out on it.
Yeah, sweet event. Like for them to put together this, the day before the players was great promotion. Like as someone who, doesn't follow golf as strictly as other people, and like Foxy basically was the one that told me that the players was this upcoming weekend, but seeing all this stuff, like I knew today waking up like, oh yeah, the players is going on now, and like moments like this are unheard of. I saw some bad moments as well that were also just as funny, but I think nobody won more than Brilliant Dumb and Fat Perez.
Iowa Hawkeye legend.
Trent Ryan.
Foreplay Pod. He had a shot. That was tough. I mean, they had him at a tough angle. And he took a hack at that thing confidently. That ball went nowhere, but the ground did. And I respect that because that's more my style of golf as opposed to rolling in Tiger's putt.
Well, and that's also why, I think people were taking a shot at Rory, or some people where it's like, hey, if you're a professional golfer, you're not watching fucking people on YouTube playing golf. That's like, someone in the NFL isn't spending time watching people play two-hand touch football. It's not the same thing. But you also see these guys, they're playing at the Players' Championship. It's a very, very difficult golf course. So if you're not, and Fat Perez is a scratch golfer. He's an absolute stick. But you see the discrepancy between watching pros play and watching guys who are just really good at golf. You can get exposed out there because it's a very difficult course.
So I will say this from Rory's perspective. Whenever there was a kicking trick shot run while I was kind of in the league, and there would be people that would like be talking out of pocket about the NFL guys, like comparing kicks that maybe happen on 100th take or aren't realistic, or kicks that any kicker could do that was a good kicker, especially if they just set their mind out to do it. Now, creative concept, certainly, so I'm not going to knock that, but like some of those people's fans would start like going after like actual kickers. Yep. So I would assume Rory has heard some shit about people and how influencers are better golfers than he is. So I assume Rory also has that angle, but Roar, it's good for the game.
Come on.
Just like it was good for kicking, all these guys. It was good for kicking, people being interested in kicking. But you would hear some comments made to like, not Vinatieri necessarily, but basically every other kicker about like, this guy should have your job, he'd be a lot cheaper. And not everybody's saying that, but people are saying that. And it's like, I could go do that with both of my feet if I wanted to. They're a little bit of a different level. And I'm sure the actual golfers feel like a lot of that YouTube, I can do that on both sides of the golf ball if I wanted to. So I think that is probably where they get pissed off, is whenever there's a comparison of some sort.
Well, they miss a putt, or they're standing over a putt and people are yelling, Fat Perez would make that one. Like that probably happens, and then they get upset.
Bingo. Yeah, like there's like those moments that probably happen with the gallery or even on Twitter, or in comment sections of anything that people see and they're like, fuck these guys. Like that can easily happen, I think, from professional stuff. But you got to remember, go for the game. And the people that actually have a brain know. That is what I think like Rory should kind of understand. Like people know that there's levels to this shit.
100%. And at the end of the day, there is nothing better to watch in the form of golf than the back nine on a Sunday of any good tournament. And Rory knows that. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's the best content. Mm-hmm. The best golf content is Sunday big tournament.
Bingo.
Now, granted,
by far,
me seeing some of these golf courses that I've never seen before, and like I'm watching these dudes play, and I'm like, yeah, that is beautiful. Yeah. Like I would never. And then some guy who has like a similar handicap to me hits a fucking stroke, or some celebrity does. It's like, okay. Or you watch somebody just be the worst, like the Miz.
Oh, sure.
Like we watch a Miz golf online, and it's like, how is he not getting better at the sport? Mm-hmm. Like, how do you?
I thought he's good now.
Those are modern marvels. Like the Miz golfing is a modern marvel.
Is he not good now?
I think the Miz will always be exactly what you think.
Yeah.
How does he hit the ball so poorly with such a good-looking swing?
And with all the effort and time that he puts in.
Oh, it consumes his life, I feel like.
He's either wrestling, he's with his kids, but he's moved to a golf course. Like he moved his family to a golf course so they could hang out with the family and do golf. Like he loves the sport, which is sweet. I like how much he loves it, but the fits, the shoes, the clubs, he invests as if he is a PGA guy.
Oh, yeah.
Time and everything, and it's just like, I don't know if he's ever going to get good.
No.
I don't know if I don't even know if he has the possibility of getting good. Like,
I know that he's never going to get good.
And that's a shame, isn't it?
He needs to just let it loose. He needs to trust his instincts and just let it loose. Like, he has so many thoughts, I feel like, in his pre-shot routine with the arm and all this stuff. Like,
he needs
there's just a lot going on.
He needs to get into pickleball. He doesn't need
look how good this swing looks, though.
Everything. The setup is exactly what you do at the pros. Let me go center this thing. There's the arm. Let me do a little wiggle. He did say he sped that up. And look at that. That is possible.
That's not real.
That is possible.
That's fake.
Yeah, but he'll have one of those, because the swing and everything somehow lines up with the universe and actually hits the ball. But then the next one, yeah, he's saying that he chips this up, and he didn't. Like, we know that's 4 or 5.
Yeah, sure.
We know that's 4 or 5. But he did have a birdie on one of the holes.
He did.
In Tahoe.
And just know, this hole that we're watching right now literally probably took 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, no question.
It took so long.
Good putt, Miss.
Did he make this one?
Yeah,
he did. All right, way to go. He was pumped about it.
Was that a par?
Watching Miz golf is awesome, though. And the reason why it's awesome is because you go, how is this guy still not able to play the sport with how much he's committed? So I'll watch the Miz golf. I'll watch the content creators golf.
Whole day.
I'll do that whole thing, but nothing's better than Sunday at a real tournament, to your point, Foxy.
Watching Miz golf is one thing. When you have to play 18 holes with the guy, that's enough. I mean, at Tahoe, it was a 6.5 hour round.
It's too fast for us.
No, it was. There were plenty of times where you and Pat were up on the green, and me and Connor were doing the stuff, the videos, and we're 275 yards back with Miz just having an engaging conversation with his caddy. What do you think? A nice little baby draw here. Maybe catch the ridge up there, and it's like
his caddy though was a part of the problem.
Yeah. He was swing thoughts on everything, and then,
gaslighting him.
Feeding him.
Yeah, we all see what's going on, caddy.
Miz, just let him hit a worm burner on the ground, 75 yards, and then let's get this thing going. Let's get the double and pick it up and move to the next hole.
Caddy, probably a good guy, probably too good of a guy to actually entertain all the things that were happening, but it was like, Miz is getting better there. You saw the arm was quick.
Oh, yeah.
That looked a lot quicker. Feels like he's taking constructive criticism a little bit.
He sucks at golf. He'll always suck at golf. Like, he doesn't have enough time in a year to consistently get good every single week.
Another magical viral moment is a brand new New York Met, highest paid player, I think, in the history of baseball, having a moment during spring training with a member of the crowd. There's this guy with long hair in a green or yellow polo yelling at Juan Soto.
Overpaid! Overrated! Overpaid! Overrated!
This rat-looking fella says to the highest paid player in the history of baseball, he's overpaid and overrated. Cut off polo, great pony, no worries in his life at all.
No.
Having the time of his life at spring training, letting Juan Soto know that it's all bullshit what the Mets just did. And then later, his next at bat, Juan Soto would do this. To who? To where? Yeah. Fucking the guy. Hits it to the guy wipes shit, eats shit, and Juan Soto gives a shout out and some kid gets the ball. What a moment for Juan Soto. As that ball is flying directly towards that guy, he has to think to himself, I'm the greatest baseball hitter of all time. Obviously, that's a professional pitcher. He doesn't know what's coming. For him to potentially try to snipe a guy, how many feet? 450 feet away?
Probably like 350, 375.
375 feet away. Had to be one of the most fulfilling, gratifying moments in the history of Juan Soto's baseball career. And that rat ended up on the ground, but he'll go home with a story. Congrats to all parties here, honestly.
Yeah.
Congrats to all parties. Made a spring training game awesome, and also probably made Juan Soto dial in a little bit more. Let me see if I can put this fucker on that guy's head.
Yeah, I'm going to try to kill that guy.
And he did.
He did. Yeah, to be able to do that, like remember that guy and be like, I'm going to hit this fucking guy in the forehead. I'm going to kill this guy.
375 feet away.
And then actually do it. I mean, it's remarkable. Defensively, he is a liability, so maybe that's what that guy was talking about, being overpaid, overrated. But at the dish, he's fucking unbelievable.
Sounds like you're a little bit of a hater because you're a New York Yankee.
Not a hater. He gave me a great season in pinstripes that I'll always remember.
Well, speaking of a great season that you could remember for the Yankees, I guess they're never having a good season again. Have you read what's happened here? I did not know this because I've been bringing a boom. I love bringing a boom.
Still bringing it.
I love any family that's completely committed to a professional wrestler dad's gimmick, okay? They've actually had AEW matches. They've gotten into this thing, big Costco, little Costco. I love what they've done with their family. Has to feel so good doing it alongside the kids, too. Get a chance to go experience all these things. I guess the Yankees have done absolutely garbage since they brought the boom. Do they need to bring them back in double boom to maybe offset this, or are the Yankees fucked forever, Ty Schmidt?
I think the boom they need to bring is Aaron Judge needs to take a bat and hit Big Boom AJ in the head and kill him.
What?
That's the only way this
that
can
is
be
a
reversed.
Yankees diehard fan. I don't want that to happen.
That's the only way this can be reversed. You got to let Aaron Judge come in, hit you in the head, like 100 times and kill you. If he's an actual Yankees fan, I don't know. He lives down in Boca Raton. He acts like he's from New York or whatever.
What are you saying? I am a Boom fan. We are Boom fans.
Don't bring the Boca Beach Boys into this.
I was, but hey, listen, the proof's in the pudding. Okay, Garrett Cole is having season-ending Tommy John surgery. Okay, that's our ace. All right, Louis Gill, who won Rookie of the Year last year, he fucked up his elbow. He's gonna be out 3 months. Giancarlo Stanton, who is maybe one of the most ripped, muscular human beings on the planet, has both of his elbows so fucked up he can't even pick up a toothbrush. So how is he gonna swing a baseball bat this year? It's just it's one thing after another, and not to mention obviously they lose Soto. So if Big Boom AJ is as big of a Yankees fan as he acts like he is, then you got to let Aaron Judge hit you in the head like 100 times and kill you.
Okay. I don't know.
It's not going to take 100. It won't take 100 shots.
Well, I mean,
he's got a big head.
You got You got to get the demons out. You got to beat them to a bloody pulp. I mean,
No way.
You got to leave no doubt.
We can't have Big Boomer gone.
We want blood splatter on Judgy's face.
No, we can't do that.
Glorious bastard.
Listen,
Exactly.
I understand that things are not going well for the Yankees, but it ain't the Boom's fault. Okay, you need to know they brought the Boom. They tried to bring good spirits, good vibes to the Yankees because it's been a while since you guys have been the team, right? Has it not been?
Oh yeah, I mean they went to the World Series last year, but they haven't won a World Series since 2009. So.
And now the Mets are new.
No, they're not. Let's pump the brakes there. I mean, they're taking.
They got a batter from your team.
They do.
Putting it on a guy's head from 375 feet away.
Sure.
Not in BP, in an actual live at bat.
Polar bear. And I'm guessing that guy who threw that pitch is probably like the 65th guy on the. He'll probably be playing single A ball for the Phillies or whoever the fuck they were playing. Another thing that no one's really talking about is the Mets signed the Yankees closer last year who choked, lost his job, couldn't get anybody out. They signed him and said, hey, you know what, you're gonna be a starting pitcher next year. So we'll see how that pans out. You can't. Baseball's one of those things you can't score. 8, 9, 10 runs every single game and think you're going to win that way. You're going to have to squeak out a couple 2-1 ball games.
Yeah, but they got old Trumpets coming back.
Yeah. Okay.
Polar Bear Pete, who hit those sweet home runs in the playoffs.
Home run, in the playoffs.
Yeah. Saved the season.
And a home run derby in multiple
Derby,
years.
he's a winner.
That's all he cares about.
Yeah, that is all he cares about, but that's okay.
You sound like a hater right
No, I just, the King of New York stuff. Like, let's see the Mets do it before we fucking crown him, okay? And once Aaron Judge hits Big Boom AJ in the head and kills him,
Okay.
the
Yankees
are going to be back.
We need Big Boomer. We need Big Boomer on. Okay? And we need Lil Boom.
I'll settle with Big Justice then.
No, Lil Boom is staying. That is not the case.
Maybe the mom. One of them's got to go. I don't know which one.
What if they just delete the video? What if they say, you guys need to delete the video? We regret doing the video. I think the only way you get out is they do another video.
Or,
you think
what?
You think they're going to say they're going to admit fault?
Yeah.
Maybe they've seen the same stuff we've seen with this Yankees team.
You remember what they did to Texas Roadhouse? You think they're going to just say, okay? I mean, Texas Roadhouse rolls out the red carpet for them, gives them, comps them a meal and everything that comes out. I mean, the steak is chewy. It's no good. It's not, the sides are cold. I'd love to boom this place out. We love to do that, but I can't do it.
I had Roadhouse this weekend. I actually was pissed eating it, thinking about that.
Wife and I went last week, Texas Roadhouse, had a little day date, went up to Texas Roadhouse, sat at the bar, had all the TVs set up, had some peanuts, had the bread and the butter, had this cold chilled salad. Oh,
sure, it was pretty good, right?
Chicken fried steak you had in there. Oh,
how was it?
Great.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe they do a video with Mets gear on.
Yeah. Maybe they jump ship.
Instead of killing him, which I understand your qualm. That would make sense.
Or make him take do a simulated game. Him and Big Justice, they go in and let's put Max Fried out there, and he gets to buzz the tower. Hit them both in the head with like a 98, 99 mile-an-hour fastball.
You can't be this bad. They are not the reason the Yankees haven't won.
There need to be some sort of repercussions.
Yeah, I don't know about any of that. All right, let's get the hell out of here. What a day. There's a lot of basketball games on. Let's watch them.
Hell yeah.
Let's get in here tomorrow for a nice feel-good Friday. The weather is magnificent here in the middle of the country. We hope the same wherever you are watching from or listening from. Ohio, same, right? 70 degrees today.
Oh, the best. It's awesome. Love it.
It is. The sun's shining. Sit outside a little bit.
Yes.
Let the wind hit the face a little bit. Breathe some fresh air. Foxy will go try to hit a hole in 185 times and seemingly come closer than any human has ever come.
It's been a tough go, to be honest.
You're in and out of that hole so often.
Honestly, I would have thought I made like 8 or 9 of them at this point. I've only made one.
Only made one.
On both holes.
On both holes, though. But yeah, I've been going for the 75-yarder now since last summer, and I have not even made it yet.
I've not even made a 75-yard chip in.
There was a time where I would have made this by now.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know. It's Sky.
Maybe
it's not a 7-foot putt, Foxy. It's a hole in one.
75.
Think about how many balls I'm hitting, though. I'm hitting a lot of balls.
We know it's not your
at that
fault.
thing.
We know
do it.
You're being a bit of an arrogant prick right now.
It's the green.
To be fair, to yourself, you're being an arrogant prick to yourself, acting like that should have already. You shouldn't have one on both of them, is what we're saying.
Yeah, the 100-yarder was all luck. That thing went straight in. But yeah, I mean, probability-wise, I probably have to at least 3 days a week, at least. Do you think I would make more than I have?
How many balls are you hitting per day out there?
One bucket, I haven't counted how many. Let's just say one small bucket is 50, maybe. So that's a lot of balls.
He's out there a lot. He always comes back in. We see him walk back in. He's holding his shoes, Didn't make any today.
You put golf shoes on?
Just outside shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause you got to walk in the mud to pick them up.
It's very muddy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't need that getting dragged through the Thunderdome because the dirtier the Thunderdome is, the more we have to hire people to come clean it. The more times we have to have it come be cleaned, the more we have random people walking around the office. So, one thing leads to another. Let's not have as many random folks in here. Let's try to keep it as clean as possible. With that being said, shoes are a real problem.
Oh, yeah.
They drag shit in, especially with gym floor. Anybody that's ever had a gym floor knows that the shoes are the ones that kind of ruin everything. So we try to keep it as clean as possible. And Foxy, very nice. Foxy's got his little grass cutters he wears in and out of this entire place. But anytime we see him come back in and grass cutters are down, head down, he's holding his club, just comes walking.
The GoPro they have to go set up too.
Yeah, set up, and then he has
delete this footage, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, plugs it in the computer, has a hole. I don't want to have to watch these again.
I'm going to make it today.
Today's a good day.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Big night out, sold out. We covered everything that has happened in the world. And, maybe A.J. Hawk will get an answer for the city of Pittsburgh. Maybe.
It feels like with the moon tonight, this is the deadline.
Okay.
2 a.m., 3 a.m. maybe.
Okay.
When the moon hits his eyes.
I love how Tone said Aaron's listening to ocean sounds while he's walking 3 feet away from the ocean.
Just in case there wasn't enough. Kind of quiet waves tonight. I want some big boys.
I need some big ones.
Heavy chop.
I need a break. I need some heavy chop.
I want this thing to crash.
If you do get a chance to talk to Aaron, tell him if he doesn't do it by the time the mills let out tomorrow, around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
All the drunks.
They get to a bar and they put their paycheck down on that bar. Every hour that goes by, it's going to get worse and worse.
It's just going to get loud. But, hey, that's Pittsburgh football, actually, through and through. That's why I can't wait to get there on April 9th. That should be a good time. All right, we're back tomorrow. Watch some college basketball. I'm going to have to because I don't know shit about it. Seth Greenberg gave us a great amount of information. I mean, he really broke it down. Drake has an opportunity. VCU has an opportunity to go on a run. How about Florida? He mentioned them like 5 times. He wanted us to know that he really likes Florida. Then he talked about Duke with Shire, new coach, the way they rebuilt this entire thing. Big Ten's got a couple schools now. He likes Michigan State because he and Izzo have known each other forever. That entire thing. Yeah. The SEC is loaded. He loves that. The ACC only has a couple teams. Big 12, he likes Houston.
Yep.
And then he said basically Patino's boys are going to be a tough out for anybody.
Patino's boys, BYU, team that shoots the lights out, and then Illinois, who's kind of getting healthy and hot at the right time right now.
Had dudes, got hurt, got sick, he said. I don't know if it was the flu or whatever, but now they got all their dudes back. So everything. And I think the name of the point guard.
Crazy name.
Is the Maestro. He said Josh something.
Like Jacobinus or something.
It was something like that. He said he's a maestro out there, and they got dudes. I think college ball is going to live up to yet another magical March. I hope so. There's always those moments, And every year I got to say, I don't know anything about any of these teams, but I'm going to ride the wave here all the way until one shining moment, AJ.
Yeah, it's crazy that you hear Lombo say, North Carolina needs a couple wins to get into the tournament. Why? North Carolina should always be in the tournament and should always be competing for Final Fours.
Seth Greenberg said that. You're saying all older folks look the same. I respect that. I do appreciate that. Seth Greenberg was great on the program today.
Seth is great. Seth honestly is awesome. I think he's very entertaining, and he's also worked and coached with every person that's ever played basketball.
Yeah, and I think he was trying to let us know that there at the beginning. I've known this guy since he was a kid. Yeah, we grew up in the same parks, me and Patino. The way he was talking is just would like you to know that I do know these people, and I watch him on game day every week. I think he's really good on game day, and he was pumped to come on the show, which I like.
Oh, yeah.
That never happens.
Yeah. I've talked to him at different things over the years. I've seen him a few things pop up, and he always talks about coming on.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that happen. I'm happy to hear we potentially got a guy here.
Yeah.
March Madness. What was he? He was out on the patio of a hotel with a pool?
Yeah, in Nashville.
He was in Nashville.
He might have been on Broadway.
Might have been. It sounded like there was a good time happening behind him. Yeah. Nashville's a great town.
Is there a tournament in Nashville?
That's where the SEC is.
There you go.
What a great time.
BYU also about to knock Iowa State out, and they were underdogs in this game.
Oh, so the BYU call is a good one, you're saying?
Gumpy's a big fan of BYU.
They're very good. They went into Arizona and won. They've been road dogs all season long.
What tiny score have you been betting on that's potentially going to make the tournament? Fordham just had a big-time win, right? Fordham?
Huge.
Yeah, the Dukes just got knocked out by Woj's boys.
That felt unnecessary.
St. Bonaventure, that's what I forgot to ask Greenberg about. How are the Bonnies? They got a GM. They used to know everybody about everything about everybody.
They've been very good this year, and Arkansas is playing right now. They're I think they're going to make a run with Cal running it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Cal.
Yeah.
End of season Cal teams normally much better than beginning of season Cal teams.
They've been getting better as the season's gone on, yeah.
Patino's team, Dogs, they foul on every possession, but what's a foul? That was a funny line by Seth Greenberg. Patino's, it's a bitch.
Yeah, gritty.
A bitch. That's what Patino, and then he didn't say shit later. He called Patino's teams a bitch to play against, and then he wouldn't say shit later. That kind of confused me.
He said bullshit, I thought.
Yeah,
he snuck
slipped
one
out,
in.
but he was hesitant to say shit after he said that their teams were a bitch twice. So
He might still have some pain medicine in from 6 stitches. He might not have really been knowing.
Oh yeah, because he hit the bed, he fell. Wanted to blame the wife, couldn't.
Yeah.
You've been married 38 years. We love around here. Love around here. All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something, and thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody. Big night out's going to be a good show. Yeah. Got text from everybody that's part of the show saying congratulations.
Nice.
That's been happening here
That'd
this
be
year.
awesome.
I bet they.
Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to have you. Can't wait to be there. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.